Happy Friday night and welcome to the Cathedral of Tennis, the Adams Tennis Complex, live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I'm Dylan Simmons, joined by my broadcast partner, Matt Hayden, and what a great day it is for Middle Tennessee Men's Tennis Live, Matt. It is an electric atmosphere in here tonight.
Absolutely it is. It's always, a great time here at ATC. The fans love to pack the house up, and it's going to be electric, especially with an opponent like Rice. Again, the only Conference USA matchup that MTSU has on the schedule this year. So it's definitely going to be high energy for both sides, and it's going to be great to cover tonight.
Right, you are. These two CUSA rivals, this is the first time they've met this season, and it will be the last time they will meet in the regular season as conference opponents while both members of CUSA. So needless to say, it's going to be a big matchup with high stakes and high implications, and certainly bragging rights will be on the line between these two CUSA rivals tonight. Well, we've got a couple of pregame interviews coming your way shortly. We're about to be joined by Rice head coach Ife Oostendog, who's here to join us and talk a little bit about the game and what we can expect from this atmosphere and this night, Matt. Obviously, you're coming in with Middle Tennessee, a very tough team, number 21 in the nation. So what's going to be the strategy going on the road against a tough CUSA rival?
Obviously, Jimmy has created a great program here, and it's a veteran team. It's got a lot of experience. It's a tough team, especially at home. For us, the game plan is play as hard as we can every point. There's really no shortcuts to it. These guys don't have a whole lot of weaknesses we can expose. It's just going to come down to making bowls and taking some chances and taking care of the opportunities we get.
That is indeed, Coach. So, Coach, looking at your matchups this year, it's been a lot of very close matchups.
Yes.
And so, we're, us in the booth, we're expecting another close one here. I know those close matchups can be very, nerve-wracking for you. So,
right.
How do you keep your players, heads in the game and not trying to, get too far ahead of themselves?
They're fighters. As long as the match is alive, they're going to keep doing what they love to do. But yeah, it's been, we've played 7 matches, 5 have gone to 4-3s. It could have easily been, 6 last weekend. But again, I'm really proud of this group. They fight every match. They train hard every day. But yeah, listen, as long as the ball is in play, however long it takes, yes, we would all love a very quick 4-0 win, but rarely the case in environments like this and against really good teams like this. So we're going to pitch a tent and be out here as long as we need to.
Well, Coach, this is a huge CUSA matchup, and this could serve as a bit of a preview for the CUSA Men's Tennis Tournament come this April. So what can we expect from tonight, and are you guys going to use tonight as a way to prepare for the future, especially with how big this matchup is between these two teams?
Listen, it's still fairly early in the season. Obviously, MTSU is playing at a pretty high level. They've been tested with some good ranked opponents, and we are actually, we've been battle tested too. We've already played one Conference USA team in Florida Atlantic. Down in Florida, came down to a 4-3 match in a 3-hour plus battle. So, certainly it may make a difference down the road, but I think we're just looking at this as let's battle and see where this goes, and then go on to the one after.
Absolutely, Coach. And so, we were talking to Coach Jimmy, leading up to this match, and Coach Jimmy has given, you and your guys such high praisals. And, everyone thinks that every coach is, hard head. They're just going to be bashing heads. But, you and Jimmy seem to have, a bit of a bond here. It's really good to see, great sportsmanship all around. How have you been able to build such a strong bond with Coach Jimmy here?
Listen, he's a man of high character. It's been a really good friendship. We've served on some of the ITA board committees together. Well, I tell you what, you all have heard of the devastation in Turkey. Obviously we both have players from a city that got hit by the major earthquakes, and Jimmy was one of the first to call and check on me and check on our players. So I can't praise him enough. He's a really good man, a family man, and I think MTSU is really lucky to have a leader like that. And listen, we are moving into another conference, but we'll try to do the best we can to keep this rivalry, to keep this good match going in the future as well.
Absolutely. Love to see that the respect goes both ways. Coach, good luck tonight, and it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Well, obviously, Coach Ustendahl with some very wise words, and he shows the passion, the intensity, and the heart that goes into Middle Tennessee versus Rice, Matt.
Absolutely. Again, these, two big rivals, constantly are trying to, one-up each other day in and day out. But, the coaches still show major respect to each other. And it's just great to see, even with a bitter rivalry, that we still have, great sportsmanship all the way around.
And, of course, Middle Tennessee coming off a big weekend last weekend, which leads into our next interviewee. We've got Coach Cowley waiting for us on the sidelines. Coach, how are you doing tonight?
Great, I'm great. What about you guys?
Doing great, doing great. Well, obviously this is a big CUSA matchup with Rice for Middle Tennessee, an opportunity that they're not going to get in any other part of the regular season. So how crucial is it to get a big win over a CUSA opponent like Rice tonight?
Yeah, it's and it's just good to see another conference team, just to get to know them better before the tournament.
Absolutely, Coach. And so, like we've been saying, Rice, another big, rivalry kind of here. And so every game, it's like it's must-watch, tennis here. And so how do you get your guys prepared for such a big rivalry game and going up against Rice today?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't really focused on Rice. We don't really focus on our opponents. We just focus on getting better and focusing on what each guy can individually do better. And we know that if we get better at those specific things and we just get ready to play to play our best tennis, we're gonna be fine when it's match day. And so yeah, we haven't really focused on Rice. We just focus on what each guy can improve on.
Love the self-improvement attitude that you guys have. Another question we've got is, last week we saw the depth of Middle Tennessee, especially the youth, the freshmen, come into play. How crucial is it going to be, especially with a very talented Rice team here tonight, for that depth to come through?
Yeah, I think the best teams are always the deeper teams. If you look at the teams that won the NCAA tournament in the last few years, they've always won it because they were winning all the matches at 4, 5, and 6. So yeah, I mean, we think that our depth is crucial to every match, to our conference tournament later on, NCAA tournament, everything. So these young guys have been doing well, and I believe that they're going to keep doing that.
Absolutely. Talking about these young guys, in the first doubles matches appearing here on court 3, we see Shu has been inserted into the lineup here. And so was there any, planning, ahead? You saw, very well games from both Baran and Shu against Alabama A&M, just kind of giving them that, energy that they need to, keep building on a great season. So what was the strategy behind, installing Shu there on court 3?
Yeah, I mean, Shu is a great tennis player. He's just he hasn't played as many matches as the other guys in his junior career, so he's a little behind in experience. But as a tennis player and as an athlete, he's incredible. He's incredibly talented, and he's been showing it. He's been improving. Last week he played really, really well, and we just believe that it's his time to get a shot and see what he can do. But again, we think he's gonna have a great college career and pro career after college. So yeah, it's his time now.
I have to agree with that. The future is certainly bright for you guys, especially with that depth, Coach. Good luck tonight. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, obviously, we heard Coach Cowley's words, and we've seen again how Middle Tennessee has used their depth time and time again to succeed, Matt. That's going to be crucial here tonight.
Absolutely. Again, going up against a very deep Rice team here, you have to, those, like you said, the best teams are the ones with lots of depth.
Right.
And so we see that across all levels, collegiate and even professional, that the deeper teams are the one that make the deeper runs. And so it's huge to get these younger guys, more reps and, seeing what they can prove here, against big opponents.
Middle Tennessee certainly with a lot to prove here tonight. A very historic matchup again. This is the last time these two will meet in the regular season as Conference USA opponents. Certainly will be a night for bragging rights, folks. Don't go anywhere here live on MTN Sports and CUSA.tv. We've got doubles action coming your way on the other side of the break. Don't go anywhere.
Mental health affects us all. whether you finish first or last.
Whether you win or lose.
The stigma around these issues causes those around us to suffer in silence.
Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of.
You are not alone.
You are not alone.
As a student athlete,
As a teammate,
As a friend.
We pledge to continue the conversation.
Because it matters.
Because you matter.
Stand up to the stigma.
Stand up.
Stand up.
continue the conversation.
You are not alone.
I have a voice.
You have a voice.
We have a voice.
Our voices can be heard
outside of sports.
As student athletes, we have a platform.
Now more than ever,
it's important that we listen, learn, and lead, and raise our voices for change.
We can all do more.
Now is the time
to make a difference.
This is our chance.
This is our chance to make a better tomorrow.
Together, we will continue the conversation.
We have a voice.
On June 23, 1972, Title IX was signed into law, and it reads, "No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity, receiving federal financial assistance." Happy 50th anniversary, Title IX. Thank you for giving little girls like me and big kids like Conference USA student athletes the opportunity to dream big.
Welcome back once again to the Cathedral of Tennis, the Adams Tennis Complex, live in Murfreesboro. Dylan Simmons joined alongside Matt Hayden, and we're about ready for doubles action here live at ATC. Matt, it's going to be very crucial for Middle Tennessee to get this early doubles point in order to ensure victory.
Absolutely, and we've seen, it play a huge factor into just pushing that momentum into the singles. We see, some matchups, like especially against USF, coming in, getting that first doubles point and then proceeding to clean house there in the singles, it's a huge momentum change. Coming in for a team with their backs against the wall or, seen as the underdog mentality can be a huge momentum change for them if they win that doubles point. So MTSU really has to jump out quick, gain that, early lead and that carry that momentum into the singles matches.
Well, the Blue Raiders have been known for their John Force-style drag race starts, and they're going to need that tonight against a Rice team that has really succeeded in doubles as of late, including one team that's been undefeated thus far However, Rice has switched up their lineups a little bit from what we've seen in the past, so it's going to be interesting to see how Middle Tennessee will tackle these lineups. Of course, the Blue Raiders not themselves ashamed to sometimes switch up the lineup in order to confuse opponents, so we'll see how it all works out. But Matt, what do you think is going to be the biggest key for Middle Tennessee to get that doubles point? What is going to be the thing they'll need to overcome Rice here?
I feel like they just got to stick to the brand of tennis that they're comfortable with. It's when they're trying to get too, different out there. It's when they're trying to, play something that they're not comfortable with. And, Coach Callie and Coach Jimmy know, what brand of tennis is their strong suit. So just keeping, to that motto, keeping to that, brand of tennis because, like we said, ranked team. We have a number next to our name. So, top of the line talent on the team. It's, sticking to that brand, sticking to what got you there. It's when you try to change stuff up, that's when it can get a little tricky for you.
Well, staying true to yourself is something that the Blue Raiders have always embodied. As you mentioned, number 21 in the most recent ITA rankings are the Blue Raiders, hopefully looking to move up in the rankings with a victory here tonight, as well as a victory hopefully for them on Sunday against the Virginia Tech Hokies. We'll get more into that shortly, but it's almost time for the doubles matches to begin. And Middle Tennessee struggled a little bit with doubles at the start of the season, had some early losses, but they've really turned it on. Go Rocha, and they will be taking on West Barnett and Trinity Gear of Rice. On court 2, we have Santiago Navarra and Campbell Salmon taking on Pavel Model and Stein Slump. And on court 3, it's Kapir Capeas and Eduardo Mores versus Andre Horak and Shu Matsuoka. So those are your doubles lineups for tonight. And OBP and Rocha, of course, a very talented double squad. And that one falls in line, and you saw the Rice player, I believe that was Barnett, almost trip over the net that time, Matt.
Indeed, like you said, OBP and Cisco here, again, ranked 23rd doubles team for the ITA ranking. So again, very, very high-skilled duo here, and looking to, see some great things tonight.
Barnett will get ready for the serve here, and he lost the handle. Gets it back. And we'll see what Rice can cook up here. Serves up and away. That one will fall into the net. And second serve to follow here for Barnett. And looks like that one will fall to the outside. So Barnett will get ready to serve once again. Rocha and Oscar Brostrom-Polson had some issues earlier in the season, lost a couple of matches against Indiana and Michigan State that we're not used to them losing, not accustomed to seeing that, but again, they've really had much more success as the season has progressed forward. As looks like that one will fall to the outside. These two have incredible chemistry, Matt.
Absolutely. Ranked 23rd is nothing to, take lightly. Again, takes lots of skill, lots of chemistry, and something that's just built, as, starting super young and just, as they start to grow, especially with the guys around them, just slowly but surely building up that chemistry and just, getting to the point they are today. But they're always hungry, always looking to improve that ranking.
Middle Tennessee holds a 30-15 lead at the moment. West Barnett, who's currently serving, highest ranked senior on the team at the 4th position most of the time. Once the highest ranked player in the USTA boys 18 and under group while he was in high school. And they're going to put that in. What a nice serve that was by Barnett. Incredible job of putting it right in the box that time, Matt.
Again, nothing OBP can do there. Just, again, beautiful serve by Barnett.
And that one will fall inside. Nice job by Rocha, splitting the difference. So a very nice job early on by Middle Tennessee and Rice. This one's going to be back and forth, Matt, and that's kind of what we expected. Rice is not going to go down without a fight.
Absolutely. Everyone's been, seeing this matchup as one of those matchups, and no matter the records that either team has, it's going to be very competitive. It's going to be fighting tooth and nail trying to, scratch together every point that they can get. And so it's not an easy matchup for even MTSU to look over. Rice is a very competitive team, and they will, if MTSU is not careful, can come out with an upset here.
Well, we mentioned it before the broadcast. Rice comes in with a 3-4 record, but with the amount of talent on that team, it almost seems like more of a fluke than anything else, and it will be interesting to see if that talent will translate here tonight. These players decorated in accolades from years gone by. Over now to court 3, where Shu Matsuoka and Andre Horak are in session. That one gets swatted right at Shu's feet. And Shu's shoes took a hit that time. $15 currently. See the conversation between teammates. It's that kind of conversation and communication that is crucial to establish a doubles team's chemistry. That one falls in the net. And, Matt, Andre Horak has been on a heck of a run himself as of late. That one falls to the outside, and a beautiful serve again by Horak, who as we mentioned, an incredible player who's really been on the run of a lifetime as of late.
Absolutely. He's come out of this season just guns a-blazing. He's ready. He was, ready to take on the challenge, trying to see why he could be a top-end talent here for the Blue Raiders in the future.
Has definitely proven himself time and time again, and here comes the windmill. That one will fall into the net. Horak typically likes to try a very aggressive first serve before settling down for the second. Lost control. Looked like it bounced off of Shu Matsuoka close to the net, and there was no stopping that one. So 30-all the result. Middle Tennessee down 1-0 to Rice. And if you're MTSU here, Matt, the one thing you don't want to do early on is give up a break. Rice trying to do exactly that.
Absolutely, indeed. Falling behind against a team like Rice early on could change the momentum of the court in the blink of an eye.
And again, Rice right along that sideline with a bullet. Makes it 40-30. And Kapasi and Morris having their way early. Break point number 2, 40-30, Rice on top.
Beautiful play there by Shu at the front of the net. Nothing Rice can do. Great way to bounce back there.
Shu with the fly swat that time right across the lane. Makes it deuce, and now Middle Tennessee with an opportunity to break even. You hear the encouragement coming from the Middle Tennessee coaches. I believe that's Coach Callie along the sideline. And we will see Andre deliver the windmill once again. That one falls short. And you notice how Andre shifts towards the right a little bit, Matt, whenever he gets ready for a second serve. Positioning such a huge part of this game. And that one gets blitzed past Shu Matsuoka. And all he could do was stand and watch as Rice takes a 2-0 lead and goes up a break on court number 3. So a very early and crucial advantage here, Matt.
Absolutely, but again, you cannot panic here if you're MTSU. You still got to keep your momentum, keep your energy high. You can't go in thinking, this match is already lost, because again, a break is huge, but you can easily come back next serve here and get a break of your own, and then if you hold your serve, you're right back at it 2-all. So again, Shu and Andre know, that this game is far from over. You can play, still play their brand of tennis and not get too ahead of themselves.
We mentioned in the pregame that depth was going to be a crucial factor in this one. And we see the depth of Middle Tennessee getting a big, big test early. Serve coming here from Morris. And that one falls to the outside, and Shu and Andre will take that all day, every day. 15 all now. Middle Tennessee to come back in this game, they'll have to break back what they are attempting to do. Not an easy task, but these Raiders have been through many tests like this before. They're trained for it every single day. Little too much on the scoop shot that time by Horak. Was trying to go right up and over Kapasi, but he just couldn't manage it.
Smart move there by Andre. Just a little bit too much sauce on it. You know, if he can execute that shot, it could be a very crucial shot later on.
We've seen time and time again how that scoop shot can be very hard to execute. Meanwhile, Rice gets ready for their next serve. Bat it back, why don't you? How about that by Horak? What beautiful form and technique that was there, Matt. That play, unlike an Android, was clear and concise. Perfect picture quality, and you gotta love what you saw that time from Andre as he brings it to 30 all in this one. And Rice not to be deterred. Beautiful return by Kapasi. And that should bring it to 40-30. The Owls on top. Actually, no, they're going to give it to MTSU. My apologies.
Yeah, it looks like that ball just squeaked. Did not catch that white line. Huge point here for MTSU. Again, trying to get that break back early.
Break point coming up, and this will be a big one for Middle Tennessee if they can get it. Shu and Andre playing deep. Right against that white line. That serve will be ruled out. And next serve coming. And a mistake that time by Horak, and he's going to want that one back, Matt.
Absolutely, just mishandled there by Horak. But again, you're still up. You still deuce here. Major break for MTSU if they're wanting to climb back in on this court.
As you mentioned, still an opportunity for Middle Tennessee to return fire. Deuce situation coming up for Horak and Shu. And Rice is going to take the point. Again, Andre tried the scoop shot right over the defenders, but it didn't work, and Rice is going to take a 3-0 lead on court 3. So, Matt, already we're seeing Rice starting to take control and take advantage of court 3, and again, the youth being tested early.
Absolutely. Andre and Shu, you know, being tested early, and like you said, that the depth, again, is something that could be very crucial here. You know, allowing Shu to get in with his doubles matches. You know, Andre's still a younger player on his own. So, again, that chemistry is still trying to be built there. And, you know, that's something that, you know, Jimmy and Coach Callie want to really see. And so that's something they're trying to work on here. You know, trying to get, you know, all the duos, see which ones are working the best for them, and trying to just build chemistry all the way around. But, again, a very large test for Shu and Andre there on court 3.
Well, meanwhile, over on court number 2, take that score and flip it. Pavel Model and Stein slump with a 15-30 game right now, but a 3-0 lead overall, and they are feeling the heat at the moment. Next serve coming up. And you hear some commotion on the side. And Rocha and Oscar Brostrom Poulsen are feeling it. We couldn't see what happened, but it looked like an insane SC top 10 style play.
Okay, we saw Rocha down on the ground there, so curious to see. Maybe SportsCenter was able to catch it for us. We'll catch it later in their top 10 plays.
Scott Van Pelt, you heard what we said. And that one will fall right to Rice's feet. Nice return by Stein Slump.
You know, we were talking about chemistry early on with Andre and Shu, but two guys that you look in the dictionary and chemistry is being defined, their pictures are right next to them, and that's Stein and Pav. You know, these guys have some of the best chemistry you'll ever see on a tennis team, and so, you know, big leadership roles that they've taken, you know, as the, you know, older players there. So again, just beautiful chemistry. As we can see, a 3-0 lead here, looking to push it to 4-0. So two players here that, you know, chemistry is the least of their worries.
That one will fall to the outside. As you mentioned, Pavel Modal, Stein Slump, they lead by example. More chemistry than a periodic table with those two. And they're trying to prove it today against Navarro and Salmon. 30-all game at the moment. And what a swat that was, as Salmon just pounded it into the ground, and that'll give Rice a 40-30 lead and an opportunity to get their first victory of the first set of doubles. So we'll see Rice get ready for their next serve. Navarro and Salmon trying to get this game to a 3-1 overall score. But again, nothing safe with Modal and Slump waiting in the wings. And that one will be ruled to the outside. Second serve to come. And that one gets thrust into the ground once again, and that will give Rice their first point of the doubles matchup, make it 3-1 over on court number 2. So Modal and Slump will have to fight back from that, but still a hefty lead to consider as time moves forward. We saw how Rice was really targeting the net that time, Matt. They were trying to play the close range game, and they worked it to perfection.
Absolutely. We saw, you know, some pretty solid defense there from Stein and Pav trying to, you know, stay in that match there. But again, just not much they can do after that one. You know, you can play as great of a defense as you want, but, you know, sometimes a better offense can just overcome a great defense.
Well, Stein Slump, he has an absolute dynamite serve. And on most occasions, he can use it to his advantage, although that time, Rice was able to counter back to make it 15-all. But once Stein serves that shot, it's very, very hard for any defender to be able to come back to it. And having a great serve is indeed half the battle of playing tennis. Sets you up for so many things and really allows you to dictate the pace of the game. That one ruled just outside the box. And that one will be outside, so that should allow Middle Tennessee to take a 30-15 lead and put Modal and Slump back in the driver's seat. Serve about to come up from Stein Slump. But while we've got a momentary game break, let's send it over to the man himself, the man who's been working double duty today, and he's working the graveyard and overtime shift all in one. Grant Langston, what do you got for us?
Well, thank you, Dylan. It has been a long afternoon, but Andre Horak and Shu Matsuoka, the brand new pairing for the Blue Raiders this afternoon, just held their first serve, so they now trail 3-1 in their first set. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Grant. So big news over there. We saw how Middle Tennessee was struggling on court 3 early, Matt, but the youth, the freshmen, Shu Matsuoka, Andre Horak, starting to come back into this one.
Absolutely, absolutely. Again, you love to see the fight there. And, you know, across the board, we're looking 3-1, 3-1, 3-1. It's, I guess Control C and Control V are the scoreboard's favorite buttons today because they are just copying and pasting it up and down the courts.
Copying and pasting it indeed. Middle Tennessee wants to keep that moving as Slump gets ready for his next serve. What a play again. That was Modal right down the alley. That'd be a strike. What a play.
Talking about that dynamite serve from Stein, just barely, Rice not able to handle it as cleanly as they wanted to, but Pav able just to strike it down and just get a nice, clean match there, pushing their lead to 4-1.
Well, as you mentioned, this Rice team is not going to go down easily, but what a beautiful, beautiful shot that was from Pavel Modal that time. Again, this Owls roster is deeper than the Grand Canyon, but Middle Tennessee's got some depth of their own, and they're showing it as this game moves forward. We're going to go back over to Court 3 now as Matsuoka and Horak trail 3-1, down 40-0 in this game. And looks like that will potentially end this one out. And they're going to give 40-15 actually, so Middle Tennessee not closing it quite yet.
With their serve, this game could change really quickly from 3-1 to 3-all just in the blink of an eye if they can get this break.
And Capacey swats that one out, and that will give Middle Tennessee a 3-2 game. And all of a sudden, the Blue Raiders starting to mount a comeback over on court number 3 as they'll head over area. Middle Tennessee starting to get a comeback fever going on court number 3, Matt. And, despite a 3-0 deficit, those freshmen, they have not been intimidated in the slightest.
Absolutely. Still having that fighter in them. As we saw over on the sideline, Coach Jimmy kind of talking to the younger, duo there as with the freshmen and just, being able to keep their minds, straight, keeping them still, you guys still got this. It might look like a big hole to climb out of, but as we see there, we're able to hold their serve. Got a quick break right after. Now back to their serve, looking to keep it, now change it back to 3-3. Could be huge for the Blue Raiders in this doubles point.
Beautifully done by Pavel Modal that time. Another swat of the ball. And speaking of who they're playing, Campbell Salmon, who is one half of the doubles team that is opposing Pavel Modal and Stein Slump. Very interesting guy. From Melbourne, Australia, won a pair of ITF doubles championships back in his day while in high school, and even participated in the Beyond the Gates camp. He endured grueling challenges like hiking, rafting, and climbing. This guy even summited the Australia. But that doesn't matter right now because Pavel Modal is on another level.
He's climbing those those heights, reaching to that top peak there. Pav just being able to finish in front of the net, but that ball seemed to be pushed out there. Now gives Rice a 40-15 lead here. Trying to avoid going down 5-1 against a dynamic duo in Pavel Modal and Stein Slump.
As you mentioned, as here comes the next serve. That one will fall outside, so the game extends to 43. A rare double fault by Rice. All right, we got Grant Langston on the sideline. Grant, what do you have for us?
Andre and Shu were battling down 3-1. They just got a break, back 3-2 on serve on court 3. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Mr. Langston, always doing the heavy work. Another serve coming. And all Stein Slump can do is shrug that one off as he just watches the ball fly past. And that's going to make it 4-2. So Rice starting to mount a little bit of a comeback of their own here, Matt. Not too late on court 2.
Absolutely. Again, like we've been saying, Rice does not want to go away, keeping all these games close. Still trying to fight back, but fight that Rice really wants to see here is their core 1 duo fighting back. 5-1 here. MTSU on the brink of clinching one court here in this doubles matches.
Serve coming here from Greer. And that one will fall past as it was ruled out, so Greer gets ready for another serve. Serve 2 coming up. And nicely done by Barnett. Again, right up against the net, swatting it down. And that's going to make it 15 all between Middle Tennessee and Rice on court number 1. But again, the number 23 doubles team in the nation, Francisco Rocha, Oscar Brostrom-Polson, trying to pull out another dominant victory. And Matt, as we mentioned before, they've really turned into another gear as this season has moved forward.
Absolutely. Like we've been stating, MTSU, a little rocky start there with the doubles, but as a team has turned it around, so have they, and they have just been clicking on all cylinders, and it looks like they are an unstoppable force. As Sir Isaac Newton said, an object in motion stays in motion, and there is nothing looking to stop them anytime soon here.
Play site buffering a little bit. It's all right, we all have those days. Another serve coming here from Greer. And man, that one had some mustard on it. Going to be ruled outside the box, but still a very aggressive serve by Greer, and he's going to go for number 2. Oh, what placement by Oscar Brostrom-Polson. Beautifully done right along the left sideline.
Brostrom-Polson just, again, putting the ball where no one can get to it. Just a beautiful placement there. And again, sometimes those hits that, not the fastest hits, not as much, speed on them, but just like, pitching in the majors and pitching in baseball, sometimes you don't need the most heat behind your balls. Perfect placement can be unhittable.
Perfect positioning is almost an indefensible kind of strategy, and Oscar Brostrom-Polson and Rocha know that all too well. And they do it again, make it 40-30. Rocha and Oscar Brostrom-Polson just one shot away from getting a Middle Tennessee doubles victory. And they're looking to clinch it up here momentarily.
Francisco Rocha just going coast to coast there on the court. And it's just, that's something you see in a very dominant, doubles team here. We saw Brostrom-Polson just cruising, along the back line, keeping, all the balls in front of him, but Rocha just a magnet to the ball sometimes. It seems like nothing can pass him.
That one will fall into the net, however, so a deuce situation now upcoming. And we'll see what Rocha and Brostrom-Polson will have in store. But these two well too accustomed to these clutch situations, and that's why they've been recruited to Murfreesboro to deliver in these big moments. It'll be Rocha awaiting the serve. Rocha ducks, and he couldn't evade the goose that time as it went right over his head, and it gives Rice their second point of the contest, make it 5-2 Middle Tennessee. So MTSU with an opportunity to clinch there, but Rice is, again, a very stubborn team, Matt. They're not going to go away.
Indeed, just like that thorn in your side that just never want to go away. It's kind of like the little brother that constantly is like poking at his older siblings. They just never wanting to go away. Staying in the matches left and right. It's just MTSU has to finish them early. They can't let them stick around. It's when you let them slowly build back. That's when they can really attack. Especially later on, as if you get too comfortable, they could just sneak up on you, and it could be a switch in the snap of a fingers.
Well, as you mentioned, Middle Tennessee has performed better when they've been able to shut down games very much quicker. That's what they're trying to do right here, as Brostrom-Polson and Rocha with a 5-2 advantage. Barnett and Greer trying to come back. But again, when you've got the number 23 doubles team in the ITA rankings opposite of you, it's easier said than done. That one will fall into the net. Rocha gets ready for serve number 2. Windmill to follow. And that one falls to the outside. So Rice starting to get a momentum swing going in their favor now. And if you don't believe in momentum in tennis, well, you're starting to see a great example of that here. Barnett and Greer, who had virtually nothing going their way early on, have found an extra gear as this game has moved forward. And that one falls into the net once again. And Rice is going to take a 30-love lead here in game number 8 of the first set between Rocha, Brostrom-Poulsen, and Barnett and Greer. And that was a big one, too. The velocity of the ball coming off of Greer's racket was just too much for Brostrom-Poulsen to handle. And now Middle Tennessee is going to have to counter strike, excuse me. Tried to go to the outside, did Rocha, but he couldn't get it in the alley once again. Make it 40-love, and Rice with an opportunity to get another reverse break victory. Break point to follow, and the Owls are starting to see the victory in front of them.
Again, like we've been saying, Rice slowly creeping back. You know, they're just playing their brand of tennis and slowly but surely creeping their way back into these matches, and that's when they're most lethal. So MTSU has really got to finish this match soon if they're hoping to achieve a doubles point here tonight.
Nice job by Francisco Rocha. He'd been trying that sideline shot the past few times, and it finally worked to perfection. 40-15 Rice with the lead, but Rocha with a beautiful shot right along that line. And these two, no strangers to coming back from big deficits. They've done it time and time again and have come through when Coach Jimmy needs it the most. Trying to do it one more time as it'll be Greer awaiting the serve. That one will fall into the net. Rocha and the headband of doom getting ready for their next strike. And a rare double fault, unbelievable. So Rocha thought he had it there, but he just couldn't get it inside the box. And that's gonna make it 5-3. So Rice has won 2 straight, and they get a break on Middle Tennessee back once again. So a 5-3 game now. Things are getting very interesting on court 1. And again, no understating how crucial this doubles point will be for Middle Tennessee and Rice. Sets the tempo for the game, and for MTSU, if they can get the doubles point, that's a pretty well assurance that they're going to win the entire game, as they have done time and time again. Rice is much more of a long game style team. The longer this game goes, the better they will play. But this time it falls right into the net, as it was a beautiful return by Brostrom-Poulsen that time. Nicely done right up against the net. And that goes back to that beautiful form we've talked about so many times. Serve coming up here from Barnett. Nicely done. Talk about accuracy. Francisco Rocha's got Annie Oakley accuracy right now, Matt.
Absolutely, just painting those corners left and right there, looking like Picasso out there. Just absolute beautiful placement there.
And that's why he is as highly ranked and highly touted of a player as he is. It's what makes this team so special in many sense, as that one will fall into the net. Greer gets ready for his next serve. 30-15, Middle Tennessee on top. Ooh, just missed the corner shot that time for Rocha. As again, he tried the scoop shot, and if he would have put that in, that would have been an SC top 10, but he just couldn't get it to go in that little bitty spot, but he saw what he's going for, and you got to like the strategy there, Matt.
Absolutely. Again, trying to just, squeak it in there and just trying to scrape together that last couple of points that they need to secure this court. But like we've been saying, Rice, a team that just gets better with time, as these matches go on and slowly breaking down their opponents. Rice looking to attack.
And that one will be a point for Middle Tennessee, as we saw what Barnett was trying to do going up against the net. He just couldn't elevate it in time, and a lot of that came down to timing, as he just couldn't follow in the way that he wanted to. And that's going to result in match point number 3. Middle Tennessee with an opportunity to take the set and get a point here in the doubles round against Rice. Barnett getting ready for the serve. And they had a chance to strike, but Brostrom Poulsen couldn't manage it again. So this game will go to deuce. And Rice continues to continue. We talked about how resilient this Rice team is, and they are putting it on full display. And despite the mismatched records, you wouldn't know it with how these teams are playing thus far. Very evenly matched. And a chance here for a Middle Tennessee doubles point. Or will Rice continue to stave off elimination? How about the exclamation point? Oscar Brostrom Poulsen does it in beautiful fashion along the sideline. 6-3 Middle Tennessee will take court 1. Beautifully done that time, Matt.
Absolute missile there by Brostrom Poulsen. Just nothing Rice can do to answer. And finally, Brostrom Poulsen and Rocha finally able to put away Barnett and Greer there. Huge court for MTSU now. Find a way to secure one more court for them and secure that doubles point.
You see the choir at the Cathedral has showed out and showed up tonight, and they got to like what they saw just then. And they're hoping to see more of that as the night continues. Middle Tennessee now needs just one more doubles match to clinch the doubles point here in this opening round. Blue Raiders trying to take a 1-0 victory.
It's just great to see the choir here just getting ready. They're always behind their boys in blue here at the Cathedral, but again, they live for MTSU tennis here. And, the boys have said that, their fans are a big factor into these games. And so, as you see there, a packed house here at ATC. I just love to see it.
We're going split screen now for Middle Tennessee and Rice. On your left, you've got Pavel Model and Stein Slump. And on your right, you got Shu Matsuoka and Andre Horak. Horak and Matsuoka taking on Kapasi and Moraes. And on the left, it's Navarro and Salmon taking on Slump and Modal. Beautiful job by our graphics team here at Middle Tennessee, including one of our producers, TJ Myers, who's done an exceptional job with these.
Again, MTSU down on the right side screen, but up 40 love there. Looking to tie it all up at 5, and what he'll do, Andre Horak and Shu Matsuoka there. Absolute beautiful play.
Yes,
pushes it to 5-5 there.
Yes, they did, and the slap of the hands with Coach Jimmy, 5-5. We're going to have a tiebreaker round potentially. The winner of that game will have to win by 2 if they want to get it without having a full-on tiebreaker. Matsuoka and Horak keeping it close. Meanwhile, on your left, it's as knotted up as it could be. 4-all, 40-all. Slump and Modal trying to pull this one out against Navarro and Salmon.
As we see Navarro and Salmon there slowly building their way back. And like we said, Rice is not going away. We saw Stein and Pav were up 4-2 early on. But again, that one sent wide there by Rice.
It is sent wide, and that's going to result in a 5-4 lead and a crucial one for Modal and Slump, just what the doctor ordered. And that's exactly the kind of medicine they needed. Now with an opportunity to close this thing out with a 6-4 victory. We'll see if they can do that momentarily. Meanwhile, on your right, play about ready to resume. 15-0 lead for Middle Tennessee right now.
And again, like both Coach Callie and Coach Usadog were saying, just, dog fights all the way around here. Again, 5-4 and 5-5, but it's just beautiful tennis. The fans here love those, we love the early, 6-0s, the 6-1s, but when it gets down to 5-5s and 5-4s, it's just, you see a different brand of tennis, and it just brings a huge energy vibe here, especially at the Cathedral.
Absolutely, and as you mentioned, so many times we've mentioned in these moments, Middle Tennessee and Rice, with these two teams playing today, it's in those crucial moments when it's close that you learn the most about your team and the most about the players you are up against. And right now we're going to see what Middle Tennessee is made out of and trying to prove that they can pull out a clutch victory once again, as they have done as this season has moved on. Meanwhile, back on court 3, Matsuoka and Horak in a 30-15 game. And a nice shot again of the crowd, overlooking this big-time matchup and a very crucial one for Middle Tennessee, trying to nab what would be the lone conference victory of the year in the regular season. Their only CUSA test, and they're trying to make the most of it and learn as much as they can against these Rice Owls. We'll get back to on-court action momentarily, and now we're back split screen once again. On your left, you see Stein Slump, and Pavamoto get a 30-15 game now with a beautiful job right up against the net. 30-all on your right with Matsuoka and Horak. And it looks like it's going to be Rice taking advantage and taking a 40-30 lead as they slipped it right past you, Matsuoka.
Beautiful play there on the left side of your screen by Pav, just able to scoop it over on a ball not many players can get, but Pav, not in his Cathedral.
Not in his Cathedral. He scooped that better than an ice cream man scoops vanilla. Beautiful job, and he's going to make it a 30-all game. Middle Tennessee trying to close it out with a doubles victory. All they need is one of either of these two courts to go their way, and they'll have a doubles point. That serve will fall to the outside. And we'll see. Nope, they're going to actually rule it was in. A little bit of a delayed reaction from the players, and it looks like Rice is going to get that point. So 40-30. Rice is on serve. And they're going to get it. What a shot and what a play that was by Salmon right against the net. And Rice is going to make it 5-5 on your left on court number 2. Meanwhile, on your right, 40-30, Capesi and Moraes on top. Trying to bring it to 6-5 Rice. Game will not be over. If that is the case, they will have to win 7-5 to close it out. If Middle Tennessee makes it 6-6, we will play a tiebreaker round. Moto will miss that serve. And that one slips right past Andre Horak that time, and Rice is going to take a 6-5 lead on your right. Meanwhile, on your left, you see Stein Slump and Pavel Model still in the midst of their action. And we'll get an update on that momentarily, as it is 15-love Middle Tennessee in a 5-5 game. First serve coming here from Pavel. Nice serve by Pavamoto. What a missile right down the lane.
Again, the duo of Stein Slump and Pavamoto. When the pressure is the biggest, they are the two that you can trust. We have, the top, ranked duo and Rocha and Brasham Polson. But again, the depth of the MTSU squad, just having, this as your second core here in your doubles matches are just insane. Pav and Stein looking to execute here, push it to 6-5, take advantage here.
That one will fall to the outside for Moto. And, Pavel Moto recently named Conference USA Athlete of the Week. The second straight week, a Middle Tennessee men's tennis player has been named CUSA Athlete of the Week, and well-deserved. Pavel Moto picked up 3 victories in 3 games last weekend. including some absolutely crushing wins against the likes of Alabama A&M and USF. He's been a true MVP for this team and trying to do it once again, this time in doubles action. I want to fall to the outside, and it looks like Pavamoto will get ready for another potential serve. Meanwhile, on your right, 15 Love, Middle Tennessee on top. And that was a beautiful hit back, but the serve did not count, so we'll try it again. Meanwhile, Pav getting ready to serve on your right. Shu with a beautiful play and a nice return on the serve. And meanwhile, back on your left, it's now 40-15. Steinslep and Pavamoto on top themselves.
Again, just painting that one just a little bit wide, but as you see, trying to paint those edges there. Huge point here.
Oh, what a spike that was by Steinslep. Using the height to his advantage. He's going to make it 6-5 Middle Tennessee, and they'll head to a changeover. Beautifully done by Double S. Meanwhile, on your right, 30 Love, Middle Tennessee on top, trying to make it a 6-6 game and bring it into a tiebreaker round. What a beautiful display of CUSA men's tennis we've got on tap tonight.
Seems we had a little bit of a miscommunication there. It seems that match went in favor of Rice, so pushes their lead to 6-5.
My apologies. Looks like they did go in favor of Rice. Looked like Middle Tennessee had it for a moment, but I believe that might have been a play stat malfunction. We'll get back with you on that. Meanwhile, on your right, we've got a 40-to Love game. And we do have confirmation that it is now a 7-point tiebreaker, and we'll update you on that for court number 3. Serve coming on your left for Rice, up 6-5. And that one will fall a little bit short. I believe we'll see a reserve here momentarily.
And another correction there. Seems are a little bit tricky with the scoreboard there on court 2.
It is 5-6, Rice on top. We do believe. Apologize for the play site malfunctions.
It's looking like it has been switched over to 6-5 MTSU.
So it looked like we were right originally. Middle Tennessee is indeed on top. So the Blue Raiders do hold serve. Oh my goodness, what a volley that was. It may not be Middle Tennessee, but that's an SC top 10 if I've seen one. I know we said that a lot tonight, but Rice with a beautiful volley that time. What a beautiful artistic display that Picasso would have been proud of tennis.
Absolutely. Just got to sit back and give Rice, you know, the praise they deserve there. Just absolute beautiful ball there. Not much Pavenstein can do, but
got to tip your cap to Rice on that one. Serve follows. And Rice is going to get another point. Meanwhile, on your right, missed serve that time from Kapasi. Get ready for serve number 2. 2-1, Rice on top in tiebreaker round. And Kapasi with a little too much moxie. He puts it to the outside, 2-2, now in the tiebreak. Serve coming on your right, left, excuse me. And that one will fall too far to the outside.
And this is the game, you know, this is the beautiful game of tennis just at its finest form here. Two teams just battling it out, exchanging punches back and forth. It's just who's going to blink first, who will drop down. And again, both teams giving it their all here in the doubles matches.
Middle Tennessee makes it 30-all over on your left. Meanwhile, Rice is going to score and notch another tie-break point on your right, make it 3-2. So the Owls still very much in contention. Talk about a nail-biter. This is NBA trade deadline levels of insanity right now. And it is going to come down to the wire no matter which game it comes down to.
No, up here in the booth, it's just you can still feel the energy here at the Cathedral. Just
Absolutely.
It from both sides, even from a competitive standpoint, you just got to give absolute nothing but respect for the Rice Owls, just never going away here.
Oh my goodness. Swatted away Stein Slump. Talk about a play. He stole that like SpongeBob stole a free balloon. What a shot.
So big for Stein there. As we heard the claps slowly coming into the Cathedral. As Stein and Pav one ball away here from clinching.
And he's not going to make it. Deuce situation coming up. Rice not out of it yet. Navarro and Salmon holding pat and holding serve, trying to extend the game for one more round. Will it be Slump or Modal? Or can Navarro and Salmon pull a rabbit out of the hat? On your right, a 3-3 7-game tiebreak still in motion. Nicely done as Shu Matsuoka nonchalantly steps out of the way. Makes it 4-3 Middle Tennessee. On your left, Rice getting ready for the next serve. Here's the windmill. That one falls wide of the box. Next serve coming up here from Salmon. That'll do it. Stein Slump with the beautiful corner pocket shot, and Middle Tennessee is going to take the doubles point.
Beautiful, beautiful play there. Just absolute nail-biting tennis on both ends of the court all the way around. I was just getting goosebumps, up here in the booth. I was on the edge of my seat. I couldn't imagine how, felt for the boys in blue down the court. Just unbelievable tennis being played here. I'm excited. I want to jump into those singles matches as quick as we can.
You talk about goosebumps. R.L. Stein would have been jealous of all the goosebumps that we just experienced, but what an incredible, incredible doubles round that was. Middle Tennessee coming out with the point, and now they've got an opportunity with just 3 singles courts to take the overall victory against Rice, but it certainly was an exciting one, Matt. And guess what? We've got more action. And it is Super Bowl weekend, so in honor of Frank Herzog, we're about to play one of the biggest games in Western civilization. When we come back, we've got singles action live from the Cathedral of Tennis here in the ATC. Don't go anywhere on CUSA.TV and Middle Tennessee Sports. Back in a moment.
Mental health affects us all, whether you finish first or last.
Whether you win or lose.
The stigma around these issues causes those around us to suffer in silence.
Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of.
You are not alone.
You are not alone. As a student athlete,
As a teammate,
As a friend,
We pledge to continue the conversation.
because it matters.
because you matter.
stand up to the stigma.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Continue the conversation.
You are not alone.
I have a voice.
You have a voice.
We have a voice.
Our voices can be heard.
Outside of sports.
As student athletes, we have a platform.
Now more than ever.
It's important that we listen, learn, and lead, and raise our voices for change.
We can all do more.
Now is the time
To make a difference.
This is our chance.
This is our chance to make a better tomorrow.
Together,
we will continue the conversation.
we have a voice.
On June 23, 1972, Title IX was signed into law, and it reads, "No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity, receiving federal financial assistance." Happy 50th anniversary, Title IX. Thank you for giving little girls like me and big kids like Conference USA student athletes the opportunity to dream big.
Welcome back once again to the Cathedral of Tennis live in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Dylan Simmons and Matt Hayden bringing you Middle Tennessee action in men's tennis up against the Rice Owls live here at the Cathedral. Matt, what an insane doubles round it was between these two, coming right down to the wire, but the Blue Raiders prevail.
Absolutely, an absolute nail biter there in the doubles. If you missed out, you missed on some very, very intense tennis there. But, after this broadcast, you can watch it on NTNM
That's
Sports
absolutely.
YouTube channel. So, plus there, but watching it live was a whole different atmosphere here at the Cathedral of Tennis. But guess what? We got singles matches right ahead of us, and I say we just jump right into it. I'm excited. I'm ready to get going.
I absolutely feel your enthusiasm, Matt, and I'm sure we're about to see some incredible singles action coming to you live here with men's tennis. We're over on court 3 right now. We'll get that to you momentarily as Rice and Middle Tennessee getting ready to take on one another. But this is going to be a big one, Matt. Singles action so crucial, but Middle Tennessee only needs 3 points to take this one home, and that's got to give them a little bit more confidence as they move into the singles round.
Absolutely. Already having that 1-point lead into the singles matches is just absolute huge. It's kind of just like a sigh of relief. You're like, we're ahead early. Let's keep the momentum going. And it could just be an absolute huge game changer. That's one whole court less that you have to win to achieve that significant big number 4 next to your name at the end of the match.
Well, it's going to certainly be an interesting singles round, but Middle Tennessee is right where they want to be. But you got to wonder, how much is that doubles round going to take out of them, and how much exhaustion will they feel? These players are well-conditioned, but they had to fight as hard as they could to take that one. We'll find that out momentarily. Over on court number 2 right now, it's Francisco Rocha, and he is taking on Sindogan. Rocha ranked number 122 in the most recent ITA singles rankings.
Again, like you said, very hard fought there for the Blue Raiders. But, if you're Rice, that's just got to be taking a whole lot of wind out of your sail there. You were so close. Both matches going to the absolute end, and could be huge deflation there for the Rice Owls. So, let's see who can come out on top here in the singles. Again, Rice dropping that doubles point right there. Just a couple balls in their favor, and it's their point. But MTSU was able to hold their ground, and being able to, keep that energy alive here at the Cathedral could push them forward no matter how exhausted they could be from those doubles matches.
Great point you make there. Of course, Rocha taking on Amir Sindogan here. And that one will fall just to the outside, make it 40-30. Sindogan is going to be an interesting challenge for Rocha. He's 6-0, undefeated in singles thus far, as it looks like Rocha is going to take the first of the points here in the first set of the singles round. So a big win that time for Francisco Rocha. But Sindogan's going to be interesting. 6-0, the only undefeated singles player that Rice has. He's going to be a tough one for Rocha to overcome.
Absolutely, but if there's one man up for the task, and that's Francisco Rocha. Again, like you said, ranked 122 for the rankings here in the singles matches, and looking to mark Sindogan's first loss here, but again, like we just saw with those doubles matches, anything could happen. We saw MTSU was in the driver's seat there on for Pav and Stein there in the doubles, but Rice was able to claw their way back, and so again, the way the doubles matches were going, anything could happen here.
Oscar Brostrom-Polson taking on Barnett right now. Barnett usually is the 4 seed, but he is playing as the number 3 ranked player today. 30-15, Brostrom-Polson on top. And that was a beautiful serve, and I believe they're going to call it in right along that line, and they are 40-15. What a shot by Oscar Brostrom-Polson.
We're seeing here, Francisco Rocha coming out to an early, securing that point, and Brostrom-Polson here also trying to secure an early point. MTSU coming out the gates hot here, hopefully to keep that doubles momentum, carry them to a victory here tonight at the Cathedral.
And it looks like Oscar Brostrom-Polson is going to take a potential for another singles point. And he's going to take it. What a beautiful serve that was, and the fist pump delivered right along the sideline. Make it 2-0, Middle Tennessee on court number 3. And Oscar Brostrom-Polson is throwing some darts right now with these serves. So we'll see Barnett get ready for his next serve, facing a 2-0 deficit. And that was huge. What a shot right along the line. You saw Brostrom-Polson kind of retreated to the back, and Barnett saw an opening, and he took full advantage of it. 15-love, Rice on top. Brostrom-Polson waiting in the wings for Barnett's serve. And that one will just kiss the net and give Oscar Brostrom-Polson yet another point, make it 15-all Middle Tennessee. And Oscar Brostrom-Polson, he had some dog fights last week against the likes of Princeton and USF. And he's trying to come home with a dominant victory here today. And he's off to a great start, Matt.
Absolutely. Again, jumping out to an early 2-0 lead here on court 3. 15-all here, trying to find a break.
That serve will fall into the net. Another serve coming for Barnett. Fakes the serve. And that one will fall into the net. So a very nicely placed serve that time by Barnett. That was a beautiful job of kind of faking out Oscar Brostrom-Polson. And he pulled it like a Brett Maher field goal that time, did Oscar Brostrom-Polson. So he's going to have to make it a 15-30 game with Rice on top. That one will fall outside. Barnett, a player who prides himself on sportsmanship, once won the Ozaki Hastings Junior Sportsmanship Award from the USTA. And that one, again, just falls into the net. Barnett's had a couple of those that have been right up against the net, but he just hasn't been able to get it over. And that's something that he's going to have to look to change as this game moves forward.
Absolutely. Those are the mistakes, that you got to capitalize on, for either side, those, because that ball, that's a give me point there for Barnett, and just, a simple mistake there, something he's got to definitely clean up here if he's trying to take down Oscar Brostrom-Polson here.
You have to be careful as a player not to overthink the shot sometimes, as players often do. And that one is going to go out of the frame and out of the park. So that should give Oscar Brostrom-Polson yet another point. We'll get the official confirmation in a second, but he is in a big, big opportunity to get a third straight point and make it 3-0 Tennessee on top. As Barnett will get ready for his next serve. Windmill comes. And that was a big-time shot. He couldn't quite get it in the box, though. So a second serve will be upcoming. Oh, he just sliced it a little bit too much, did Oscar Brostrom-Polson. That's going to bring it to deuce here in the third game. And this is going to be a big moment for Oscar Brostrom-Polson, as he's had to deal with this a lot tonight and a lot this year. Of course, he has delivered time and time again, but Barnett is a player who's not going to be deterred that easily.
Again, just like we talked with the doubles match here, MTSU, they're, all about trying to, get these matches done, quick, and trying to, jump out early and be in the driver's seat for the majority of it. As we talked about with Rice, again, a team that just seems to play better as the matches go on. So if you're MTSU, you're really wanting to, make sure you minimize your mistakes, really trying to capitalize on this, opportunities that you can, trying to put away Rice here.
Well, you saw the fist pump from Barnett as we head to the changeover. Rice is able to get their first point over on court number 3, make it 2-1, Middle Tennessee on top with Oscar Brostrom-Polson, but still a lot of tennis left to be played. Let's switch gears over to court number 4 now as Andre Horak takes on Navarro. 40-30 game currently. And looks like they are getting ready to head over to the changeover station. So Andre Horak is going to make it 2-1 and take a lead over on court 4. So we'll be getting back to more tennis action momentarily, but a big, big move for the freshman there, Matt.
Absolutely. Again, like we just saw with Brostrom-Polson there, trying to achieve that, 2-1 here in those singles, trying to secure that first match point, trying to put Rice away. Again, it's when these matches go, into that second set and, deep into them, and, that third set, that they're very lethal. And we've seen, across their schedule, just, all these 4-3s and, in favor of them, but also their 3-4 is just going to the absolute very end. So MTSU looking to change the tides here, put away the Rice Owls early here at ATC.
And Marcel Kamrowski delivering once again. He's going to take a 2-1 lead, and he'll head to the changeover station with a big-time advantage, and a big one for the freshman, who has continued to emerge as a team leader and a team player as this season moves forward. So Middle Tennessee with a lot of 2-1s right now, but they're finding their way early here, Matt.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, you know, just all the way around, just seeing 2-1s across the board here, and MTSU trying to, again, huge start off the night.
And meanwhile, while we have a game break, Grant Langston, the man on the sidelines, has another report. Grant, what do you have for us?
Well, guys, I just came from court number 4 where Andre went up a break, and now your Blue Raiders are up breaks on courts 2, 3, 4, and 6. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Langston. So big moments for Middle Tennessee there, up 2-1 on a majority of courts and up a break. That's going to be big for the Blue Raiders moving forward with an opportunity to close this one out early if everything falls correctly. Pavel Model taking on Salmon. And this is on court number 5. Or excuse me, court number 6.
Like Grant just, you know, gave those tad bits of information, you know, seeing breaks across the board early for MTSU. Absolute huge as these matches go deeper into the night.
That one will fall to the outside. And Modal will await the next serve. Playing it very deep with Salmon. Campbell Salmon is the team's number 6. One of the oldest players on the team. He's a graduate student, and he did not play in the fall season. As you mentioned, this guy has been to the top of Australia, so he is no stranger to adversity. And Pavel Model, he put it down under that time, right past the net, and he's going to take a 30-15 lead now with a 2-0 advantage overall. So nicely done by Pav, and now he's got a 40-15 lead with a chance at breakpoint number 2. See, Pavel is 100% successful in these breakpoints thus far. Salmon 0 for 2. And that one will fall to the outside, so a nice serve by Salmon. That was a beautiful placement that time, Matt.
Absolutely, just Pav, nothing can do there. Jam shot, sends it wide. Beautiful serve with a break on the line of your serve.
Ooh, shake and bake, why don't you, Salmon? What a beautiful play that was as he went right back across the court opposite of Pavel Model, and Model kind of got stuck on roller skates and couldn't recover in time to recover the shot.
Absolutely, just sending Pav, you know, to the left, but also to the right, like the cha-cha slide does. Just nothing Pav can do there. Just absolute beautiful play there by Salmon.
Well, the wrong kind of dance for Pavel Model that time, but he is not going to quit that easily. Chance for 3-0 or 2-1. That to be decided momentarily. Serve coming from Salmon. That serve will fall to the outside. Second one to follow. Aims and fires. And we saw Salmon go for the Patrick Mahomes behind the back shot, but there was no Patrick Price on that one, and that's going to be 3-0, Middle Tennessee on top, as Pavamoto is going to take control into the changeover station. So a big win there for Pavamoto there, Matt, and Middle Tennessee continuing to establish some consistency and potentially some dominance early.
Absolutely. You love to see just an absolute beautiful performance there by Pav, but also just beautiful performances that we've seen by Oscar Broschen-Polson there. My apologies. Just, love to see early dominance there, and hopefully for more to come later on.
Here's a game that has been very back and forth, 2-2 right now and 30-all between Stein Slump and Greer. Trinity Greer, usually the team's number 2, but he has been moved up to number 1. Rice's usual number 1, Yasha Zemmel, not in action tonight for the Owls. And that means that Trinity has had to step up. As he just did right there, a beautiful serve right towards the corner, and Stein Slump tried to swat it back, but it went to the outside. And Slump will have to now deal with a 40-30 deficit.
For Trinity, jumping up here to court 1, even as a court 2 to court 1, still a very big task to overcome, especially when you're going up against, a top 80 player like Stein here in the singles matches. But Trinity looking like he's holding his own here.
Yes, he does, and that's going to give him a 3-2 advantage. So Trinity Greer taking it to Stein Slump early on. And that's going to be interesting to watch as this game moves forward. Stein Slump usually a very reliable guy at getting a singles point from Middle Tennessee, but Trinity Greer, he's providing a big challenge for him tonight, Matt.
Absolutely, absolutely. And, just that competitive brand of tennis like we saw with the doubles matches, and just no one going away, constantly back and forth, back and forth. But one match that seems to be a little bit different story here. Francisco Rocha up 4-0. Here on court 2.
Rocha with a 30-15 advantage at the moment. Looks like it's about to be 30-all, and it is. Him and Amir Sandogan. Rocha right now in cruise control in the first set. As that one will fall into the netting, and a second serve will be here to follow. Here's the shot. And Rocha, a bit of a misnomer there. He just couldn't get it into the opposite side, and he just missed it that time. A bit of a whiff. So a bit of an uncharacteristic mistake from Rocha. Probably angled it up the wrong way and just couldn't get the right velocity on it. And that's going to make it 40-30 Sandogan. Goodbye and good night. What a recovery by Francisco Rocha. Sandogan did everything he could to try to get the ball in, but there was nowhere to go, and he was on an island, and Francisco Rocha put it into the dirt. Deuce situation coming up, and a deciding point. Can he get it to 5-0? Rocha awaiting the serve. Sandogan trying to form a strategy. Not going to happen yet as it falls right into the center of the net. Serve number 2. Oh, Francisco Rocha says, I'll just take care of that. Put it right past Amir Sandogan, and he's going to take a 5-0 lead over on court number 2. And Rocha seems to have this one clearly in hand, Matt. He's having himself an electric night.
He must have heard our, analysis here for the games, trying to put Rice away early, and he's holding that to a T right now, up 5-0 in the first set. But I mean, when you're a top player like Francisco Rocha, absolute brilliance, on the court, day in and day out. But again, never say never. As we saw, Rice was, down 4-2, 5-1 in doubles, and they brought courts, back from the dead. And so it's one of those things you can never, no matter how big your lead is, never feel comfortable when going up against Rice.
And Slump will watch that one fall to the outside, and that should give him a 3-3 tie here. And indeed it will. So Greer is going to have to work from the rear once again. Tie game situation now. Stein, Slump, and Greer. Again, this is the court number 1. So Slump, who usually is able to take control, having himself a bit of a game right now with Greer. It's going to be interesting to see if he can pull this one out. Nicely done again by Slump. He can go forehand, backhand, and pour it down the middle. What a beautiful play by Slump, and he's going to take a 15-0 lead early. Greer played that one fairly far back, and Stein Slump was able to take advantage. And when you have that much speed on a shot, Matt, it's very hard for any player to recover from.
Absolutely. Stein is just able to just put unremarkable speed on the ball, just even from as far back as, with his back up against the wall, just able to send it across court, squeak it in there, keeping that ball alive against Greer here. But again, everyone, as they say, chicks dig the long ball in baseball, speed, is just an absolute, big factor. But also it's, your game up close, your game, against those slow, changing the pace can just be very crucial. And so that's something that Stein shows. When he needs to, he could put some meat on the ball just like that. But when he needs to just squeak it over, just a bare little tap, he can also execute.
Stein Slump, what a backhand, pushing it like a Dr. Pepper pass right along the alley, and he's going to take a 30-15 lead. 30-15, Middle Tennessee on top here on court number 1. Stein Slump trying to come up with an advantage. That one will fall to the outside. And a second serve to follow. And a little bit too far that time. Stein Slump tried to push it, but Greer was able to step out of the way, and he's going to make it 30-all. A little too much mustard for Stein Slump on that return. Greer getting ready for the serve. And again, too far to the outside. So Greer is putting it in the back alley, and he's really finding himself a lane in this game now. So the strategy has definitely changed for Greer, but it's all about those in-game adjustments, and he's definitely finding his way with that.
Again, Greer giving Stein a run for his money here in the first set. Definitely stepping up to the challenge here on court 1.
And again, it falls into the net, so a rough sequence for Stein Slump results in a Trinity victory. Make it 4-3. Rice on top on court number 1 as they head into the changeover. So Stein Slump will be looking to recover from that one, but shows that Trinity Greer's got a lot of talent under that hood, Matt, and he's not going to give Stein Slump an easy game in the slightest.
Absolutely, absolutely. Not giving him an easy game at all, but, our job up here isn't easy as well, but a person that makes that easy job a little bit easier is our sideline reporter, Grant Langston. Grant, what's the scoop for us out there?
Well, fellas, all the Blue Raiders on the even-numbered courts are putting on a clinic tonight, especially Francisco Roca, who just took his first set 6-0, and Andre, who just sent one a shot down the line to take his first set 6-1. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Langston. So big news over there. Francisco Rocha and Andre Horak taking early set victories for Middle Tennessee. And, Matt, it's definitely looking promising for the Blue Raiders.
Absolutely. You have 2 courts already up, in their first set. Huge, absolute huge, momentum there for MTSU. Again, like we said, clinching that doubles point, absolutely massive. You're already up 1-0. Again, only needing 3 courts, and you already have 2 that secure their first set, and absolute dominant form there on court 2 with Francisco Rocha, but also on court 4 with Andre Horak. So just absolute beautiful play there by them.
And talk about a court that's also close. Marcel Kamrowski up 5-2 against Kapasi right now. This is on court number 5. And still currently on a changeover break, but Marcel's having himself a heck of a night as well here, Matt.
Indeed, indeed. Again, the freshmen are out here to show out. Again, like we've been talking depth here. The Blue Raiders are led by their veteran leaderships in Stein and Cisco and just Pav as those leaders. But again, it's the younger crowd, the Marcels and the Andres, as we saw in the doubles with Shu as well. Just the depth that this team has is just absolute. That's what makes them a top tier team, and a team to that people in CUSA are looking to take down. As being a ranked team, everybody sees the players might say they don't see a rank, but again, it's in the back of their mind. We can put on a show here and take down a ranked opponent at their home.
Yes.
Can be massive, especially for a team like Rice, who again, like we've been saying, their 3-4 record there does not represent what their play is on the court. As a very competitive team, we've seen day in and day out with their close matches, some going in their favor, but some not, but still absolute very competitive team, and a team that MTSU is looking to take down here tonight.
Middle Tennessee having some success in that department early as Marcel Kamrowski is going to make it 15-love with a beautiful, beautiful serve right along that right side. And we've mentioned the big-time rivalry between Middle Tennessee and Rice as Kamrowski gets ready for his next serve. Boy, Kamrowski's dropping some dimes right now, and he watches that one fall to the outside to take a 30-love lead. And we've talked about the youth. Coach Jimmy Borendame was quoted in a GoBlueRaiders.com article as saying that what's really exciting is that the future is bright. That is absolutely true. And there's an example of just how bright it can be as Marcel Kamrowski thrust it into the turf. Make it 40-love, Middle Tennessee. And Marcel's got an opportunity to clinch a set here on court 5. And looks like that one is going to fall to the outside, so Kapasi escapes defeat for the moment, but Kamrowski continues to remain hot on his heels, and he'll get another chance up 40-15. And that will do it. Marcel Kamrowski gets it done and gets the first set. So Middle Tennessee will take yet another first set on a court. And it's Marcel Kamrowski, the freshman, getting it done, Matt. Blue Raiders set up perfectly for a victory if things continue to go the way they are. Absolutely, absolutely.
As the NFL has been, dealing with scripts here, ain't no scripts here because this is just beautiful play. Again, as we saw in those doubles, I don't think MTSU's script had, absolute dogfights on a lot of those courts, but MTSU out to an early one-set lead on 3 courts. And again, like we've been saying, it's all they need. And so if you're able to, get out to a big lead there on 3 of those courts, you're in the driver's seat all night. And so it's just, one of those things that, again, against this Rice opponent, MTSU has a big history. They're 5-2 against the Rice Owls all time, and riding a 5-game winning streak heading into this matchup. Looking to push that to 6 here, but also has a winning streak here at the ATC. Haven't dropped a game here when playing at the Cathedral. Looking to keep that streak alive here in the 2023 season.
I think Middle Tennessee would take what the script writers have given them thus far this season. When you talk about the success that they've had, they might want to pay them a little extra with wins over teams like number 19 Duke, a win over Princeton last week right here in the Cathedral of Tennis, wins over Michigan State, Indiana, they've had a lot of success trying to keep that going against Rice today. Trinity Greer gets ready for the serve in a 4-4 tie. That one is sliced wide. And Greer will get ready for the next serve. Stein Slump will retrieve the ball. 15-love lead, Greer on top. Trinity Greer has been one of the biggest bright spots for Rice here tonight as he has kept it close with Stein Slump, a man who is number 80 in the ITA singles rankings. And that's going to be out as well, so Greer's going to make it 30-love. How about Trinity Greer? A guy who's come in, he hasn't had the season maybe he was looking for. 3-4 record overall, but he has continued to keep his foot on the throttle thus far. He knows a thing or two about rankings. He was once ranked number 22 for seniors in USTA back when he was in high school. And Stein Slump launches that like an Apollo rocket towards the ceiling, but it went too far out. And now Greer's going to take a 40-love lead, and Trinity is having his way right now. Stein Slump in some potential trouble. But Matt, as we know, Stein is not intimidated by these circumstances in the slightest.
Absolutely. We've seen Stein, time and time again going up against some top-of-the-end talent, but being able to overcome. But again, that ball sent long there by Stein gives Greer now a 5-4 lead here in the first set.
And as they head to the break, Trinity Greer has the advantage over Stein Slump. So one of the spots where Middle Tennessee's misfiring just a little bit. Going to be interesting to see if the Blue Raiders can come back to take that court.
Absolutely. And, as we've been talking about, we have 3 courts already going, first set victories in favor of MTSU. But again, it's more seeing, all around, clicking on all cylinders. So it's just, more things to take into account. Interesting to see, the history between these two. I'm expecting, to let all these courts play out here in the singles match. But again, got to see later on if that's the case. But again, Stein dropping that match, pushes it now to 5-4 as he looks to climb back.
Well, over on court number 5, Marcel Kamrowski up 6-2 right now. Or excuse me, had a 6-2 first set victory, tied at the moment in their first game, but it was that first set was as sweet as a tornado batch of cotton candy for him, as that one will fall into the net. And we'll see another serve coming up here for Kapasi. 15-30 now, Middle Tennessee, trying to come back. And that one is going to fall to the outside, so I believe that's going to make it 40-15. So Kapasi starting to get a little bit of momentum going his way. And again, this is a guy who is a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, just a freshman, but he has played some incredible tennis thus far this year. But Marcel, not to be outdone. That one's going to fall into the net, so Kapasi will take the first game in the second set. So Marcel will have to wait for his next victory as they'll head over to their next game. Or actually, let's see. Another serve coming. So we will get back with that one momentarily, but now we're going to get ready to head over to court 6, Matt, and we're going to see what Middle Tennessee's got going on with Pavel Model, who has had a very up and down night, but he's starting to come on strong here.
Absolutely. Again, Pav, that veteran leadership he has, never seems to, no deficit is too big for him to climb.
Yes.
As we've seen the same with his duo partner and, Stein, again, another one, one of those veterans that just seems, a little rocky start, but Pav looks like to be in the driver's seat tonight. He up 5-2 here on court 6.
Yeah, he's in the driver's seat like Max Verstappen in an F1 car right now. 5-2 lead at the moment. Trying to close this one out against Salmon.
Pav serving for the set here.
Here comes the windmill, potentially. Not yet. Take your time, Pav. And that one will look to fall to the outside, so Pavamoto will get a second chance. Well, Pav went fishing for some salmon that time, and he caught himself a dandy as he's going to make it 15-love with a beautiful cross-court return. And it looks like he will take a 15-love advantage, and he will. Beautifully done by Pavamoto.
Absolute beautiful spike there. Makes Rob Gronkowski cry of how great it was. So absolute beautiful play there by Pav.
Moto getting ready for the Here comes that second serve. And that one just a little bit too far to the outside. Solomon was aiming for the back line, but it was a bit of a moon ball, and Pavamoto scouted it out and just watched it fly out of bounds. And sometimes, Matt, that's the smartest thing you can do as a player to get an easy point.
Absolutely. It's one of those things like in the NBA, where the best thing is to let's let the ball go out, gain, possession in your favor here as we have Pav on his serve here, up 30-love, looking to grab this first set and give MTSU yet another first set victory here in the singles.
Here comes the windmill. That one will fall to the outside, so a second serve to come. And a bit of a delay, but it looks like Pavamoto will take the first set. So Moto is going to get it done on court number 6. And Middle Tennessee adds another first set to their belt collection. And the Blue Raiders continue to find themselves in perfect winning position, Matt.
That is indeed, again, another first set victory there, adding to the collection. Just an absolute, dominant performance there by a lot of the Blue Raiders in their first sets, but a little bit different, change of pace. We see total control by the Blue Raiders with 6 O's and 6 1s. A little bit different here for Oscar Bostrom-Polson here as he's serving to get another set here on court 3.
5-4 lead for Oscar Bostrom-Polson, a 30-love advantage. Barnett trying to stave off elimination. Oh, he sliced it like a Domino's pizza that time. Oh, and he does the little dance to celebrate. Gotta love the swagger from Oscar Bostrom-Polson. 40-love, and he's got a chance to lock this thing down like Fort Knox. Let's see if he can do it. Here comes the windmill again. And he does. Oscar Bostrom-Polson rings the bell and gets the set.
Adding to that MTSU first set collection here against the Rice Owls. And, it's just great to see. 5 out of your 6 courts have gone in the first set advantage in your favor. Just absolute beautiful play by the Blue Raiders. It's got to feel great, having that early first set victories there. And that one court is our court 1 matchup that we've been talking about all night against Stein Slump, ranked 80 singles here for the Blue Raiders against Trinity Greer, who's been putting up an absolute amazing fight, going in and out.
Heading over to court 5 right now, Marcel Kamrowski and Kaposki in the middle of their game, a 32-love advantage for Kapasi. And actually, false alarm, we're going to go over to court number 1 instead to check out what's the latest with Stein Slump as he takes on Trinity Greer. 5-6, potential for a tie break if Stein can get it to a 13th game. Oh man, Stein Slump with a beauty of a serve that time. That had mustard that covered the whole hot dog.
like we've been saying, Stein just an explosive serve when he needs it. Just not much you could do there.
15-love advantage for Stein Slump. He and Greer have been going back and forth all night long. And again, he delivers a dime right in the box. Beautifully done by Stein Slump. And you know, Matt, you mentioned scripts earlier tonight. It's been a real flip of the script for Middle Tennessee after what was a very hotly contested doubles round. In the singles round, they have come out guns a-blazing and really taking control.
Absolutely. The scripts have been flipped here. But one match that seems to be fitting that double script is, again, our Court 1 matchup as we see here on screen. Stein Slump looking to push it 6-6, to push it to a tiebreaker here. Trying to complete a 6-for-6 here in favor of first set victory for the Blue Raiders.
Slump with the serve. And this one will fall right into the net. Oh man, Stein Slump does the Cupid shuffle along the net and puts it right through. It's going to be 40-15 Middle Tennessee, and Stein Slump with an opportunity to make it a 6-6 game here, Matt.
That indeed, again, like we've been saying, Stein, one of those players that you can just never count out. Just, it feels like everybody out here on the course tonight just has that fighter mentality of never giving up. You know, this whole Rice team, that's been their, motto, as we've been saying, just never giving up, fighting tooth and nail. But again, the same thing can be said here for this Blue Raiders team. As we've seen, they've been able to jump out to some early leads, but when they need to, they've really been able to buckle down and win these dogfights.
And that serve looked like it just fell in. You saw the frustration kind of built on Greer there, and that should bring it to a 40-30 game. So Greer did end up getting the point. Not over yet for Stein Slump if he wants to bring it to a 12th game, which would result in a 7-game tiebreak if it came to that. Boy, Stein Slump did everything he could to recover back, but he just couldn't reach it in time. And now, Matt, it comes down to deuce. And for Stein Slump, it's go time or go home time.
Again, absolute beautiful ball there by Trinity Greer, just making Stein absolute turn and burn there, trying to make a Willie Mays-esque catch there, but just nothing doing for Stein there.
Stein Slump again in a very hotly contested match with Trinity Greer. For just joining us live on MTN Sports and CUSA.TV. Deuce situation. Stein Slump trying to give Middle Tennessee their 6th first set singles victory of the night. And that was close. Let's see what the ruling is. Greer believes it went out, and that's what the ITA official will concur with him on. And Stein Slump brings it to the shallow end of the pool, and he's going to make it 6-6, and we will have a 7-game tiebreaker on court number 1, Matt.
Indeed, indeed. Stein pushing it to a 6-6 tie here on court 1, keeping that same script from the doubles matches as he sees his teammates just going off script there with these early set 1 victories. He says, let's pump the brakes here. Let's add a little bit of excitement here in these first sets.
Well, although Stein, I'm sure, would rather have a dominating victory, he certainly is making it exciting for us here in the broadcast booth tonight. Trinity Greer with the serve. And he will miss that one just by inches. And we'll see what the ruling is on that one. I believe it could have been a double fault. A rare mistake by Greer. We'll get the official ruling in just a moment. And no, actually they're going to rule it was Greer with a 1-0 advantage. So our apologies for the play site lag on that one. Stein Slump now finds himself into deficit, but he is not down a mini break yet. That one will fall into the net. And Stein Slump will get another opportunity at a serve. Trinity Greer trying to find that next gear, pull out a first set victory for his Rice Owls. Kapow! Stein Slump puts it in the ground and gives it a 1-1 tie for Middle Tennessee on court number 1.
Just an electric slam there would make NBA Jam fans all across the country proud with that slam.
He did absolutely jam that one into the ground, and now he's got an opportunity to take the lead. That one will fall wide. Serve 2 on deck. And Greer will retrieve the ball, trying to make sure it doesn't get into the court of play. And Greer waits the serve, playing this one a little bit closer than past ones, right up against that white line. And it ended up biting him as Stein Slump is going to take a 2-1 lead with another bullet serve right down the alleyway. And Trinity Greer is going to have to fight from behind now. We've talked about how quickly Stein Slump delivers those serves, Matt, and again, it paid dividends that time.
Absolutely. Greer was playing a little bit closer to the line than we've seen in the past, but again, once Stein knows when to have to put a little bit extra mustard on it, just Greer, nothing he could do there. And this match has been going back and forth. One guy will gain an advantage, but the other seems to always answer back.
And that was a long, long volley that time. Really nicely done by both players. We had a bit of lag, so we will get that result for you shortly. I believe that Trinity Greer is down 3-1, and indeed he is. So Stein Slump gets the point with another big-time spike. Gotta love those Stein Slump spikes here. Try saying that one 3 times fast. And now he's got an opportunity to take a 4-1 lead. And oh man, that one was close for Stein Slump. He started off behind the 8 ball with a very odd return as he kind of got caught off guard there, Matt, but he did a heck of a job recovering that.
Absolutely, just a lot of bizarre plays occurring as we saw in our doubles match, and we saw in the top right corner when we were looking in on Pav and Stein's doubles match that Francisco Rocha made an unbelievable play on court 1, and Stein looking to replicate that just a little bit out. Would have been a beautiful play there by Stein.
Stein's serve appears to go in, and he is going to make it 4-2. So a nice serve by Stein Slump, delivering like the FedEx man once again. He's going to give Middle Tennessee a 4-2 lead in the tiebreak round over on court number 1. So, Matt, this one is coming down to the wire, but Stein Slump, known for being clutch in those situations, trying to do it again.
Absolutely. And if you've, seen our past, broadcasts here at ATC, we've seen, when Stein's the last man on the court, he's the last matchup, and all eyes are on him. He is still, he lives for it.
Yes.
And we've seen time and time again that when the moment's big, the man you can count on is Double S, Stein Slump. So pressure doesn't get to him often. So beautiful to see him just absolutely battling it out there in the first set against Trinity Greer.
Back over on court number 3 now, Oscar Brostrom-Polson and Will Barnett already in action. 40-15, Barnett with the lead, and up 2-0 overall in the second set. And Barnett with a beautiful serve, and Oscar Brostrom-Polson is going to have to eat another L that time to make it 3-0, as Barnett will take the lead heading into the changeover. Nicely done on the serve, and Rice continuing to battle back in the second set. Middle Tennessee having some issues in other second set games, so it's certainly getting interesting for Rice. Again, we've mentioned before, they're a very stubborn team. They're not going to quit. Middle Tennessee is going to have to fight back in response.
Absolutely, and we've seen this time and time again. You know, MTSU jumps out to an early first set lead, but their opponents, it's something about that second set. Sometimes they are just out, and they, you know, maybe it's their back is now against the wall, and they just play an absolute, you know, pedal to the metal style game of tennis. You know, securing those second set victories and early victories. And one man that's looking to do that is Francisco Rocha here on court 2, up 5-1, and another brilliant performance here, looking to secure another point on the board for the Blue Raiders.
And that one will just fall out as Rocha was trying to put it right up and over Sendogan, and he had an opportunity there. If the ball had just a little more air resistance, he probably could have gotten the point, but instead it's 30-love, Sendogan on top. And you mentioned how Rice has started to pick up their play. As we will await the ruling here. We saw Rocha and Sendogan in the middle, and it looks like Rocha ended up getting that point, and that is indeed the case. So 30-15, Sendogan on top. But we mentioned how Rice has picked up their play as of late. In many ways could be a fight or flight response. This is when you put all your cards on the table if you're the Owls. Rocha trying to go all the way to the ground, but he couldn't go low enough to get it over the net. That makes it 40-15, Amir Sendogan on top. And Rocha's hopes of clinching this point may have to wait. Amir Sendogan from the right side. And Rocha right along the sideline. What a beautiful placement and what a beautiful shot that was. And that's, again, Francisco Rocha putting the ball in a place that only he can put it in, Matt.
Absolutely. Francisco Rocha, you know, maybe down, it was down 40-15, but looking to clinch here. And we've seen in our previous matchups here last week against Princeton, Francisco Rocha was actually down 40-love at one point in a match and fought all the way back and just carried that momentum to securing his court. So, again, one of those never say never when Francisco Rocha is on the court. Interesting to see here. 40-15's had a little bit easier path, but again, not an easy one to come back from. Interesting to see how Francisco plays here.
And looks like that one is going to fall to the outside. I believe that is what Sendogan will rule, as indeed it will. Francisco Rocha is going to grab his towel, wipe his brow, and it looks like this one is going to be a deuce situation. So this could potentially be for the match. Francisco Rocha and Sendogan. Rocha is going to play this one from the left side, and Sendogan will serve. This one falls into the net. Score is still 30-40, according to play site. And Rocha tried to recover. Let's see. I believe that one was in. So Francisco Rocha is going to have to go in with a 5-2 lead So a little bit less room for comfort now as Sendogan again continues to go down that easily. And that's been the mantra of this Rice team, not quitting, not giving up, no matter what things look like. And these Owls have personified that tonight here, Matt.
Absolutely, indeed. Just a beautiful ball there by Sendoga, just barely squeaking it in there. But again, just a beautiful play. And we saw, Francisco giving praise to his opponent there. Just not much he can do there. Played brilliant defense there, but Sendoga with a big answer there, pushing it now 5-2. And again, living to that motto of never give up, always being a pesky thorn in the side to the Blue Raiders here tonight.
We'll be heading back over to court number 2 momentarily for more singles action here, as we'll be checking out Francisco Rocha, who again has an opportunity to clinch this set if he can get the job done. Coming out of the changeover now, Rocha will play this one starting out from the right side. And the headband of doom hopes to work very, very effectively here momentarily.
Francisco now with the crowd behind his back here on his serve, trying to secure a set. And Francisco is one of those guys on the team that just lives for the atmosphere. He is constantly smiling and is always looking for the crowd to be pumped up. One of the biggest, just all-around great teammate. Always pumping up his team, but also just a fan favorite here at the Cathedral.
Rocha's going to watch that one head to the outside, and he'll take a 15-love lead. And again, Francisco Rocha is on serve. Rocha getting ready for the first serve with a 15-love advantage. That one hits the net, and serve 2 to follow. And you got to wonder what's going through the mind of Francisco Rocha and what strategy will he employ to try to clinch Middle Tennessee's second point of the overall match against Rice. And that shot was very close. I'm interested to see what the ruling is, as Rocha put it right on the line and he couldn't get the trick shot to go in, so no dude perfect for Francisco Rocha. Instead, it's 15-all and Sendogan stays in it. So Rocha will get ready for serve number 1 on the right side with a 15-all game. And Rocha was trying to track down that ball right up against the net, but Matty just couldn't get the velocity and the angle that he wanted.
Absolutely. Again, just not much we can do there. Just a beautiful ball there by Sendogan. Rocha still trying to find that elusive, just one last match. And again, it's these kind of situations. You're just so close. You can almost see the victory being secured in your favor. But like Rice always does, just trying to do whatever it takes to prolong that match.
Rocha, again, much like you mentioned earlier, plays off the atmosphere, plays off the crowd, and he wants to hear that crowd supporting him now. But that one's going to fall into the net to make it 15-40, and Francisco Rocha, again, still has not been able to deliver the dagger. Still in position in this game, but it has been a challenge as Amir Sendogan has found that next gear, and it's going to be up to Rocha to find his own. He'll head to the right side and try to overcome a 15-40 deficit, which we've seen many times throughout this season he is capable of doing.
Absolutely. Again, like we just talked about earlier, a 40-love comeback for Francisco. So one of those is just must-watch TV no matter what the score is. And so interesting to see here on if he can maybe put an exclamation point here on court 2.
And Francisco Rocha would not be denied. All you can do is stand and watch in awe as Rocha delivers the shot right up against the back line against Amir Sendogan. 30-40, Rocha now with an opportunity to bring it ever closer here in the Cathedral. And you have to wonder, what's the mentality of Rocha? Do doubts begin to seep into the mind as Sendogan continues to stay in it? And stay in it, and stay in it. Can Rocha put those doubts to the side to clinch a victory? Oh, no, he did not. Francisco Rocha just says, all right, I'll just put it right here, and you're not going to be able to clinch this one down. And it's now deuce for Middle Tennessee and Rice, and this is going to be a big one, Matt.
Again, a man with the plan here, Francisco Rocha, the headband of doom, looking to close it out here with this deuce point.
Here we go. Rocha with the windmill, and not yet. Falls into the net. Second serve coming up. Can Francisco Rocha give Middle Tennessee their second match point? Rocha shot. And he does. Francisco Rocha, more heart than Valentine's Day. He gets the second point for Middle Tennessee, and the Blue Raiders take a 2-0 lead, Matt.
Absolute beautiful performance there by Francisco Rocha on court 2. Just an absolute in control all night long. Just absolute brilliance there by Cisco.
Well, Francisco Rocha certainly has his priorities in order, as he just did in that game, and now Middle Tennessee crawls ever closer to that elusive victory against Rice, which they are closing in on as this game moves forward. We now join the action over on court number 5 with Marcel Kamrowski and Kapasi up against each other.
Marcel must have saw Cisco finishing off his game, so he's like, you know what? I'm looking to join him here. Up 5-3, already securing that first set. And one more game here for MTSU, trying to push that lead to 3-0. And one more court closer to securing a huge victory here tonight over Rice.
The number 21 Blue Raiders attempting to move to 7-2 overall and pick up their 4th straight victory, and also remain undefeated here in the Cathedral this season. That one's going to fall into the net, and Marcel Kamrowski will extend his lead to 30-0. And again, Middle Tennessee in the last 3 seasons has just 1 loss here in the Cathedral of Tennis. An absolute domination for these last 3 seasons, and it shows and is a testament to this Middle Tennessee team.
They really put forward that home field advantage here. You know, as we hear it day in and day out, you know, a game at the Cathedral, it's just like a January game at Lambeau. You know, it's a different atmosphere here at ATC. And just having, you know, this crowd behind you, it makes it hard for any visiting team, no matter how big of a skill, you know, list of skills that you have coming into the Cathedral. It's hard for a visiting team to come in here and just dominate.
30-0 advantage still for Marcel Kamrowski, and looking to hopefully extend that to 40-0, but instead it's going to be 30-15, and Kapasi not giving in yet. Serve coming. And that one will fall to the outside. Marcel awaits. And Marcel Kamrowski's going to make it 40-15. MTSU with a chance at a 3rd point here, but momentarily while we've got a game break, Mr. Grant Langston, our sideline reporter, what do you got for us?
Well, fellas, a lot of the Blue Raiders have been struggling a little bit more in the second set than they were to start off the evening. Meanwhile, over on court 4, Andre has been battling the same thing. He was just down 2-4, was able to get a break, hold his serve, and now the score is back at 4-4. So hoping to battle back around the yard here at ATC tonight, fellas.
Thank you, Mr. Langston. That ball is going to fall to the outside, and Marcel won't be able to clinch it quite yet. 40-30. But as Grant mentioned, Matt, Middle Tennessee is drawing ever closer, and Rice has got to start to feel the heat now. (40-30), Middle Tennessee on top. And that is going to be ruled as a no play because a ball fell into the court, and thus it does remain at 40-15 according to the scoreboard, but I believe it is 40-30 as they are both on the left side of the court right now. So game is not over yet. As Keith Jackson would say, hold the phone, everybody. Kapasi with another serve here to come. And it's not going to end yet either. Marcel Kamrowski puts it into the net. And that should make it deuce. And now it's going to be match point for Marcel Kamrowski. And this is the ultimate moment for him to potentially clinch.
Consistently putting marvelous performances here in his singles matches as he looks to put away court 5 here with one more ball.
And they are going to stay on the left side, so it does appear that it is 40-30, so play site was correct. So 40-30 Middle Tennessee. And Kapasi's going to rule it. Went to the outside, so we do head to deuce. And now Marcel Kamrowski, well, let's see it as Kapasi heads for the sidelines. So no, the play site board is indeed incorrect. So it is 5-4, and Marcel Kamrowski's hopes of clinching a third Middle Tennessee point will have to wait another game. So Rice continues to hold on, even if it's just by a thread. That's sometimes all a team needs, Matt, is hope that they can come back, and that could potentially spark something.
Absolutely. We've seen it with, on all types of level, the 28-3s in the Super Bowls. And, even this year with the Minnesota Vikings and their 28-0 comeback against the Colts, all you need is that little sliver of hope. All it is, if you have that little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, you can go out and just perform, the way you have been, day in and day out, and just make a miracle happen here. But again, as MTSU is slowly trying to creep closer and closer with, securing that doubles. Then Francisco coming out and putting on a brilliant performance there in his singles match, pushing their lead to 2-0. But also Marcel on the brink, trying to secure another point in favor of the Blue Raiders.
Great shot of the choir here at the Cathedral tonight. They've been watching intently and supporting their Blue Raiders. One of the best fan bases that you'll find here in the Mid-State. They love their Blue Raiders, and they are hoping to see another Middle Tennessee victory. And it looks like MTSU is well on their way to doing that. Back over to court 5 now with Marcel Kamrowski up 5-4, trying to clinch it. And that one falls to the outside, so another mistake from Marcel Kamrowski. Starting to see a few of those shots float over, and you got to wonder if just the exhaustion that Marcel feels kind of starting to get to him a little bit. He had to play a very long tiebreaker game in doubles, and you got to think that has to wear on the body just a little bit. This time it'll fall into the net, though, so a beautiful serve from Marcel makes it 15-all Middle Tennessee, and he responds right back. Marcel with another Rob Gronkowski spike right onto the court. He's going to make it 30-15, and Middle Tennessee extends the lead, and he draws just 2 shots closer. 2 shots away from taking a third Blue Raider point. But can he get the job done? And that is a beauty of a serve, and Kapasi could not respond. Let's await here the official ruling, and it is 30-15 Marcel Kamrowski. So they ruled the last serve did not go in, the serve before the last serve, I should say. And now they switch over. And they have swapped sides, so this could potentially be for the set. We've had scoreboard problems with play site tonight, so but fasten your seatbelts. Boom goes the dynamite, and Marcel Kamrowski is going to take the second set, and Middle Tennessee is going to take a 3-0 lead. How about Marcel that time, Matt?
Just an absolute, beautiful performance there. As we saw. Once again, another point for the Blue Raiders, pushing their lead to 3-0. MTSU looking to clinch here very soon to another victory in the win column for them tonight.
Well, somebody better call Jack Harlow because Middle Tennessee is flying first class tonight. Blue Raiders with a 3-0 advantage, trying to close it out with a fourth point momentarily. And we're going to go split screen now with Oscar Brostrom-Polson and Will Barnett and Andre Horak and Navarro. Either one of these games could result in a Middle Tennessee victory, but the Blue Raiders trail in both matchups right now. On your right, you see the ball skate past. I believe that was Horak, and that will make it 40-love. And Andre is going to have to try to buckle down one more time. Meanwhile, on your left, Oscar Brostrom-Polson awaits the serve. And that one will fall out, so it's 40-30, and the second serve will be here to follow. Meanwhile, on your right, we see Andre miss the shot, and that'll be game. And Oscar Brostrom-Polson is going to give up that point, and that should draw the end of the close here. Let's see. He'll head towards the changeover. We'll get the official result on that in a moment. Meanwhile, Navarro with a 6-4 victory on his second set, and that will give him a chance to play for a third set up against Andre Horak. So a big win for Navarro, and that's exactly the kind of momentum that Rice needs here, Matt.
Absolutely. Just, slowly clawing back as we see, just, again, like we've been saying, just a single thread is all they need. They're just slowly trying to pick their parts, pick apart this Blue Raiders team and just slowly, again, building back and back and back, trying to push it ever so slightly again. And you got to start one ball at a time, though. Again, you can't get too far ahead of yourself here. So, that's something, Rice is very prominent in, is, just taking it one ball at a time. You can't get all your points with one serve or one ball in your favor, so you just got to slowly build up towards it here.
Oscar Brostrom-Polson and Barnett in the middle of their game right now. That is over on court number 3. Score is still 5-4, according to both scoreboards we have here at the Cathedral of Tennis. And a nice corner pocket shot by Oscar Brostrom-Polson once again, pulling a rabbit out of the hat.
A trick that would make Harry Houdini proud. Absolute beautiful ball there by Brostrom-Polson.
Oh my goodness. Boy, Barnett went behind the back that time. That was a Patrick Mahomes trick shot if I've ever seen one. But it didn't matter because Oscar Brostrom-Polson was there to respond in kind. He makes it 30-love, Middle Tennessee. Blue Raiders still very much in contention.
This seems to be the night of trick plays and highlight Sports Center top 10s, as we've seen on almost all courts. Just unbelievable plays by both Rice and MTSU here tonight.
And we only hope that Sports Center will be proud of the stuff we've seen tonight. And that one's going to fall to the outside for Barnett, and that should push Oscar Brostrom-Polson to a 40-love lead and a chance to potentially take some form of control in this second set. Actually, no, it's going to be 30-15. My apologies. So they're going to rule that one as in. And Barnett still in position to strike against the number 3 Blue Raider. And I believe he's going to rule that serve went to the outside. Let's see. It did go in, apparently, so I believe Oscar Brostrom-Poulsen will get that point. Make it 40-15. He did. What a beautiful serve by OBP. And that first serve will fall short. Second serve coming to follow. And it looks like Oscar Brostrom-Poulsen couldn't recover that one, and I believe that's going to make it a 40-30 game, and indeed it will. So Brostrom-Poulsen not out of the woods yet, and Rice continues to keep it close. Brostrom-Poulsen needs this game to bring it to a tiebreaker potential. That serve will be out, so a second serve will be coming. And that one's going to go out, so Oscar Brostrom-Poulsen brings it to 5-5. And now we've got a potential for a tiebreaker round. The opponent will have to win, whoever that might be, by 2 points in order to clinch this without having to go to a 7-point tiebreak. How about the resiliency of Oscar Brostrom-Poulsen here, Matt?
It's just, again, just something that we've been talking about, with Coach Callie and Coach Jimmy, with all these matches here at the Cathedral. Just this team is never say never mentality, just an absolute fighters up and down the roster, never giving up, and can make magic out of anything.
They fight like Rocky Balboa in every sense of the word. They've got that fighting mentality, and they're not going to give up no matter what the situation. Oscar Brostrom-Poulsen personifies that to a T. And he's trying to bring it home once again for the Blue Raiders. 15 love, Rice on top. Serve coming. And Barnett tried to recover it, but he just couldn't slice it and dice it. Couldn't get it over the net, and it's 15 all. Oscar Brostrom-Poulsen awaiting in the wings, and we've seen him have some close games in the past few weeks, Matt, but he's got another dogfight on his hands tonight. But he always seems to come through in the end, as that one will fall to the outside.
Absolutely. Oscar Brostrom-Poulsen just trying to, when they see the scoreboard 3-0, and it's just, one of those things that they want to be the clincher. Everybody wants to be, they want to be the ones that secure the victory for their team. And it's just having that energy, running through the building. It's contagious to all, teams, even away if you're up, against the Blue Raiders, which doesn't happen often here at the Cathedral. So it's just electric. And that's what the advantage here, playing, in front of the wonderful crowd here at the Cathedral of Tennis, it does. So the boys in blue live for the moment, live to be the clincher, and live for having the crowd solo in on their courts.
Well, they'll have the crowd like a madhouse, a scene from Beetlejuice in a moment if he can clinch this victory. And that one falls to the outside. It's going to be 40-15, and Oscar Brostrom-Poulsen drawing ever closer. Brostrom-Poulsen getting ready for his next serve on the right side. He will await Barnett. If you're just joining us, Middle Tennessee up 3-0, trying to clinch out this win over the Rice Owls and trying to punch their ticket to a 7-2 record. and perhaps a statement to a higher ITA ranking. That one's going to fall to the outside. Barnett will get ready for serve number 2. Can Oscar Brostrom-Polson get it to 6-5? Not this time. It's going to fall into the net, and it moves to 40-30, and Barnett continues to hold pat, and Oscar Brostrom-Polson will have to await his moment. And Matt, this is the moment that Oscar Brostrom-Polson has stepped up in so many times.
That is indeed, as we see here, trying to secure that one last ball. But Barnett not going away just yet. Brings it now to deuce here.
It appears that will be the ruling. We will await it. And it is indeed going to be deuce. So Oscar Brostrom-Polson is going to take it from the left side. No matter what, the game will not be over after this one, but it will definitely be a huge advantage to whoever can take it. That one ruled out by Oscar Brostrom-Polson. So serve number 2 and a big moment for Barnett. The last thing you want to do here is make a huge mental error and double fault. Let's see if he can deliver. What about the recovery by Oscar Brostrom-Polson and the fist pump to match? That's what you call stepping up, and that is what he just did. Middle Tennessee takes a 6-5 lead over on court number 3.
Absolute beautiful ball there by Oscar Brostrom-Polson. Barnett not able to answer, and the crowd erupts as we saw the fist pumping of OBP lighting up the arena here.
As we draw closer to 7:30, Middle Tennessee draws ever closer to a potential victory in the Cathedral of Tennis one more time. Oscar Brostrom-Polson needs just one more game win, 4 more strikes to clinch it for the Blue Raiders, as he has done so many times for this team, as they are currently awaiting more action as they are in the changeover station. And many times, Matt, this is as a player when you want to retool yourself, refocus, and make sure that you're ready to go. In Oscar's case, it's about finishing the job you started. For Barnett, it's all about trying to come back and find what can work and what can get you back in the lead. So, Matt, this is going to be a close one down to the wire.
Absolutely, but we live for it here up in the booth. You know, you live for these matches. As we saw with the doubles, just absolute amazing play on all 3 courts. You know, as a commentator, you dream of these matchups.
Yes.
You dream of the, you know, I know the boys in blue and the boys on the court prefer, you know, those quick, 6-0s and those quick, early victories. But for commentators, it's so much fun commentating these absolute dogfights going back and forth in these nail-biting games.
Absolutely. You'll live for it as a commentator. What better story, what better chapter in a tennis team's history could be written than here tonight between Middle Tennessee and Rice? As that one's going to fall out, we will be heading back over to court number 3 for Oscar Brostrom-Polson and to see if he can close things out against Will Barnett. And that one falls just inside. Oscar Brostrom-Polson kind of hesitated on that one, thought about going for it, decided not to, and ended up paying for it, Matt.
Indeed, again, you have that, like we said before, having that 6-5 advantage is still, obviously, still very, very close. A couple balls in favor of Rice could change the momentum. But, if you're Oscar Brostrom-Polson, just, you got to realize, like, I need to keep my foot on the gas, but I can't be making simple mistakes here to allow, Wes Barnett to stay in this match. Try to put him away early.
Brostrom-Polson aims, fires, and hits directly on his target, and he's going to make it a 15-all game now as Will Barnett continues to keep it close. This game very much with intensity all around. While we got a game break, let's send it over to the man who's always got the scoop. He knows a thing or two about scoops, Mr. Grant Langston.
Just been strolling around, monitoring all the action that's left here. Pavel Model has been battling back, holding his serve the last few moments, trading points back and forth. Meanwhile, On court 4, Andre's up a break and on serve, attempting to keep his record in singles this season unblemished. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Mr. Langston, once again, always delivering the goods to us in the commentary booth. Meanwhile, play resumes. And Brostrom Poulsen delivers again, 30-15 Middle Tennessee. Brostrom Poulsen is on serve, and he's got an opportunity. He just needs 2 more dimes, 2 more strikes, and a long-awaited victory will be his tonight. And Matt, this, more than any time, is when a player has to deliver.
It is very well indeed. And again, Oscar Brostrom Poulsen, he knows when he's to deliver.
He just delivered once again. Look at that smile, and the crowd beginning to roar too. The choir singing a hymnal, and the sands in the hourglass may be running short. Can Oscar Brostrom Poulsen clinch it for the Blue Raiders?
Aussie chants fill the cathedral here.
And he does. Oscar Brostrom Poulsen delivers the final boom, and the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders will clinch victory in the Cathedral of Tennis here tonight. MTSU with a 4-0 advantage, and the Blue Raiders deliver the final boom. And unlike Shania Twain once said, that did impress me much. What a play and what a job by Oscar Brostrom Poulsen to come out swinging late and deliver the shot to win the Blue Raiders the game.
Absolutely pushes the history between these two teams to 6-2 advantage in favor of MTSU, but also a 6-game winning streak against the Rice Owls. And another winning streak that's been kept alive is a winning streak here at the Cathedral of Tennis here on this season. You know, the boys in blue just always putting on a show for the fans here at the Cathedral, and they pay it back because the boys in blue owe it all to the fans. The fans that come out here, every time, we're here at the Cathedral, rooting on, all the guys. And so the guys, they want to put on a show. But, they put on a show tonight, coming out in that doubles match, fighting tooth and nail for the point. And then in the singles, securing a big, big victory here against a CUSA opponent and the Rice Owls.
As that one falls into the net for Greer. One thing we were curious about was whether or not this game was going to be played out if it did come to a 4-0 advantage for Middle Tennessee, especially with the Blue Raiders heading to Blacksburg on Sunday. But it looks like that the decision has been made to keep this affair going. So we'll see if Middle Tennessee can rack up some extra points or if Rice can snag a few away of their own in the short term. 40-30 game here for Stein Slump up on Trinity Greer. Greer with the windmill. And that one will fall to the outside. So Stein Slump will await. And you can see how deep he plays these serves. Almost halfway between the back line and the curtain. And, oh, man, Stein Slump stumbled, and he ends up making it a deuce game. He was trying to deliver the final shot there, but he just couldn't get it on Greer, who delivered a perfect shot right to the back corner, Matt.
Absolutely. And, you're talking about how Stein is kind of, far back on these serves. And that's just, the luxury he has with being able to put so much power on the ball, not having to be, nearly as close, able to, play a little bit back, play a little bit more comfortable, give him a little bit more time on the ball. And so it's just, the power that Stein holds, that's what gives him that ability. And, not a lot of players have that luxury.
And he tried to get the backhand in, but he just couldn't get it over the net. And Trinity Greer steals another point away to make it a 4-4 match. And Stein Slump's hopes of making it to a 5-3 advantage will have to await for another day. This one continues to remain very much anyone's game. We saw just how close the first set was between these two mats, so no surprise. They've kept it close all night, and they've really been right at each other in terms of their playing ability and their level of play tonight. Shows the true equality they play with on the court.
Absolutely. And, playing out these matches here, it's again, doesn't affect the outcome of the said match, but it's great to, witness, especially between these two teams. These coaches definitely, have a history of, being close friends. So they want to see what their boys have in store. And again, it's one of those things, even after a quick turnaround here for the Blue Raiders as they head to Blacksburg to play Virginia Tech, still wanting to finish this out. Again, their only CUSA opponent on the schedule. So a game they probably had marked up as one that they want to, finish out with all 7 points being on the board.
What a serve that was from Stein Slump that last time, getting ready for another windmill. Listen to the boom that he reflects whenever he hits the curtain. That shows the sheer power that Stein Slump possesses.
Absolutely, and just that sheer power just makes it difficult for anybody to really, get momentum behind the ball. Just having to, go out there and just in a blink of the eye, the ball can just be right past you.
And there's nothing that you can do when you see the ball flying at you with that much speed and that much velocity. Stein Slump with a 30-15 lead here in the 9th game of this second set. Four to 4 tie. Stein Slump emerges from behind the curtain and gets ready for his tryout. Slump from the center of the box, just outside the back line. That one hits the net, and he'll have to try for serve number 2. So Slump will retreat back to the back line one more time. And Slump gets ready for serve number 2. The number 80 player in the ITA singles rankings. Oh, so big, Stein. What a play that was. Make it 40-15, Middle Tennessee. What a beautiful spin that he put on the ball that time. Put on the spin, Dr. Matt, and he did it to perfection.
Absolutely. A spin cycle that we can only see in a laundromat there, but, man, absolute beautiful play there. And just, again, so big for Stein. Jumping out to a 40-15 advantage here, trying to get their 5th match here in the second set.
Serve coming up here from Stein Slump. That one just a little bit to the right. Second serve to follow. Here we go. Stein on the pine, and he's going to make it 5-4 with a beautiful backhand response. Nicely done by Stein Slump. We'll get back to that one in a moment. But the man on the sideline once again, Mr. Grant Langston. Grant, what's the scoop?
Well, guys, we've got some action over on the even courts. Pavel Model dropped his second set to Campbell Salmon, and he has now just took the first game of his third set, so he's up 1-0. Meanwhile, over on court 4, Andre Harak up 5-0, well en route to keeping his record perfect.
All right, thank you, Mr. Langston. Great reporting as always. Has done a fantastic job for us tonight. Andre Horak up with a 5-0 lead in his third set. They've been playing this third set on Barry Allen speed, as that one's going to fall into the net. And another look at the still active and still very much raucous members of the choir of the cathedral here at the Adams Tennis Complex. And they have been a fantastic group here tonight, cheering on their Blue Raiders with everything they've got. And in many ways, they serve as the 7th player out there on the court, Matt.
Absolutely. I mean, as we see, in Seattle, the 12th man plays such a huge factor for the Seahawks. But again, the 7th man here at the Cathedral just plays nearly just as big. And I mean, I would put it up against there, with the best, as the 12th man in Seattle or the 12th man down at Texas A&M at Kyle Field. They have no match against the 7th man here at the Cathedral Tennis or the Adams Tennis Complex here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
I like the enthusiasm as we see Stein Slump trying to reverse that serve. He tried to slide it over, but he just couldn't get it in position. Meanwhile, on your right, a big serve coming here from Horak. And that one's going to fall out. 15 all momentarily here for Andre Horak and Navarro. Navarro getting ready for his next serve. Meanwhile, on your left, Steinslump with the return. And double trouble that time for Middle Tennessee as both of those points go the way of the Rice Owls. And Navarro evens it up at 30. Meanwhile, Steinslump now down 30 to love. Again, awesome split screen capabilities courtesy of TJ Myers and all of our other great members here at MTN Sports. And there's the return by Stein. Serve coming up from Navarro. And looks like Navarro's going to hit that one out, so it is now a deuce game. Andre Horak with a chance to make it 5-0, Blue Raiders. Here you go, Andre. This is your moment. Take full advantage and take aim and fire. And that one is not going to work out, so Navarro extends the game just a little bit further to make it 5-1. Meanwhile, on your left, Steinslump still with a 15-30 deficit in a 5-4 game. And that one's again going to fall right into the netting. 15-40, Greer holding on. And these two just continue to exchange breaks back and forth here, Matt, like it's a Netflix password.
Absolutely, indeed. Just, you know, like we said before, punches being exchanged here. Like in a Rocky movie, no one is wanting to go down here.
And that one will fall to the outside on your left. Meanwhile, the serve coming from Horak on your right. And it looks like that serve will be inside the pipes. Serve coming up from Horak in a 15-all game. That one ruled the outside. No, inside. Wow, so what a serve that was from Horak. Navarro kind of with a delayed reaction. Threw me off as well, but it's 30-15, Andre Horak. Meanwhile, on your left, Steinslump with the serve. Steinslump wheeling and dealing right in the back corner. And Andre Horak says, make some room, Stein. I want to score some points too. And we got a match point coming up, 40-15 Blue Raiders. Meanwhile, Steinslump still on the serve. We have gotten word that Court 6 is now in a 10-point tiebreak, so that will be the end of that game. There will be no extended third set. But we'll continue to follow the action split screen on these courts. Chance for Andre Horak to close this out. Horak breaks it down like a Chrysler on the interstate, and he gives Middle Tennessee a victory to make it 5-0 Blue Raiders.
Andre keeping that flawless singles record alive. Also keeping a flawless victory alive here for Middle Tennessee. Interesting to see here. Can they keep that 0 next to the Rice's score here? Interesting to see how it plays out.
Well, Middle Tennessee is looking to do exactly that as we go back to split screen. Now checking out Pavel Model and Salmon. Steinslump and Greer. Pavel Model is up 7-3 in the 10-point tiebreak right now. Steinslump trying to circle back, but he couldn't get it back in time. And that will bring it to 30-15. Greer still trying to hang on with everything he's got. 8-3, Pavel Model up in the 10-point tiebreak. Middle Tennessee going for the sweep. And that one will fall just past Pavamoto. So Salmon's going to make it 8-4. And things continue to thicken here on the right side. Meanwhile, on your left, Stein Slump with a 30-15 advantage. And Stein getting ready for his next serve. On your right side, still on changeover. Stein, the serve. Apologize for the buffering on play site. Stein Slump delivers the power at bat and puts it right down on the court. And that should give him a 6-5 lead. What a beauty that was by Mr. Double S.
Stein one ball away, trying to secure that 6-5 lead here. Looks like he might have done it already. My apologies on that one. Stein now in the driver's seat here on court one, up 6-5.
Now just needs 4 more balls to take that second set. Meanwhile, on your right, play resumes. And Pavamoto gets sideswiped and loses control. And that will bring it to 8-5. So Salmon continues to stay right with him. Pavamoto trying to do everything in his power to come away with another victory. The CUSA Athlete of the Week, trying to live up to the moniker. And Moto will watch that one go to the outside, as I believe he's going to rule that he snuck that one in. And that will bring it to 9-5. As Dolly Parton would say, he's working the 9-5 and he's trying to deliver the final shot. Can Pavamoto do it? Meanwhile, on your left, Stein Slump and Greer still in the middle of their match with no score. Pavamoto does it. Pavamoto gets the victory in the 10-point tiebreak, and that will make it 6-0 Middle Tennessee. Pavamoto doing what he does, giving Middle Tennessee continuous victories. And Matt, he just continues to ring the phone and answer the call every single time.
Absolutely beautiful fight there from Pavamoto, pushing MTSU's lead now to 6-0. Stein Slump here up 6-5 in a 15-love lead here. And that lucrative, trying to achieve that lucrative 7th match here.
Quick shot on here on the still raucous, still alive, still excited choir at the Cathedral, watching intently to see how this game will shake out. One final unwritten chapter still to be decided, as we already see Stein Slump and Trinity Greer with their game completed. Recently just became a 6-0 game, or excuse me, my apologies, I was thinking of the other match that we just saw. Stein Slump and Greer still in the middle of their match. Pavamoto, of course, if you're just joining us, taking his point. 15-all, 6-5, Stein Slump on top.
And we saw the Cathedral, all the fans now migrating over here to court one, and it's just, you just love to see it from the fans, sticking out the entire matchup. Even though MTSU already securing the victory here, just kind of playing to see what they got, but the fans, they love their tennis here at the Cathedral, and they'll stick it out. We could be playing until 1 o'clock in the morning with matches going back and forth, and the fans will show out here. It's great to see. But Stein looking to secure a victory here on court one for the fans.
It's very much the beauty of this fan base. They continue to show out, and they treat the Blue Raiders as if they are family, and they want to see family succeed. Bit of an odd scenario for Stein Slump. He's not used to being the final person on the court, but that's the situation he's found himself in tonight. And that one will fall to the outside. So Stein is going to fall down to 15-30. Man, Trinity Greer just continues to have Stein Slump's number here tonight, as we've got an opportunity for a break point to bring it to 6-6, which in that case would result in a 7-point tiebreaker. These two have been going back and forth all night, and it's been a match that we've watched for probably a couple or 2.5 hours now. These two running at a marathon pace. That one will fall into the net for Greer. And Trinity Greer will await his second serve.
Again, like you said, Stein, not usually the last one to finish. I feel like the last time we saw this occur was that first game at the Cathedral against Michigan State.
And that one will fall to the outside. I don't think Stein minds being the closer all that much. As long as he gets a victory, he'll be satisfied, as he will now head to a 30-40 deficit, trying to close this thing out without the need of any tiebreakers. 30-40 game. Stein Slump trying to pull another fantastic comeback. And he's going to rule that out. So we now have a 6-6 game, and that should result in a 7-point tie-break affair between Stein Slump and Trinity Greer. We'll see what the official call is. And it will be a second set tiebreak. What we will likely see is if Greer can take this 7-point tiebreak, we will likely then subsequently see a 10-point tiebreak to decide an ultimate winner, but Stein Slump trying to keep it from happening at all. Oh, break his ankle, Stein Slump. Looked like LeBron James on a drive that time. And Stein Slump's going to take a 1-0 victory, or excuse me, 1-0 lead in this 7-point tiebreaker.
We see here as the Cathedral, as the choir builds up in the stands. Those aren't the only fans here cheering on Stein. As you can see at the top of the screen, his teammates, just the biggest fans as the choir is.
And it looks like Stein's going to rule that serve was out. On Valentine's Day weekend, Stein Slump is certainly feeling a lot of love from the Cathedral right now. And he's hoping to translate that into a victory. And Stein just lets that one fall out. 2-0 lead now in the 7-set tiebreaker. Nicely done by Double S once again. And now Trinity Greer has to play from behind, something he's had to do all night, as he gets ready for his next serve. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful placement of the ball by Trinity Greer. Going cross court that time, crisscross applesauce, and he makes it 2-1.
You just gotta imagine, these guys giving it their absolute all right here for this last court. When you play it on the court one, there's a lot that rides on, no matter, what tennis complex you're playing at, no matter what team you represent across your chest, getting the honor to play court one, it's just, you want to put it all on the line, no matter the score, no matter, what is the outcome of it. You give it your all. And that's what we're seeing here between Stein and Greer. And it's just a beautiful game all the way around.
Absolutely is a beautiful game. Oh, man, that was an insane backhand that last time. The whole roof of the cathedral came unglued. It was like Sunday. Beautiful return. But Greer, not losing sight of the overall game, makes it 2-2 here, Matt.
That play, even though Stein dropped the point there, is still worthy of being replayed on all social media platforms for days.
Yes.
As we saw, here in the booth, we can see, the cathedral and its choir just stunned from that play by Stein, and just
and that one's going to be right to the outside. Stein Slump plays it smart this time and just says, I'll just let you go right by. 3-2 lead for Double S. So Stein Slump, and you got to think, much like Dr. Strange once said, we've got to be in the end game now between these two. We're in the deep water, and only one can prevail. One shall stand and one shall fall, but who is it going to be? Trinity Greer getting ready for the next serve. And Stein Slump's going to roll that one went outside. And that's going to be a double fault, so a big mistake by Trinity Greer makes it 4-2 Middle Tennessee. And that will send us over to a quick changeover between these two. But Stein Slump finds himself in the perfect position to deliver the final blow in this game. And Matt, we have seen some incredible resilience from the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders #1 tonight.
Yeah, that is very, very well said, Dylan. We saw in the singles matches, Pav and Stein kind of, lost their footing there a little bit. And, backs were against the wall, but they were able to, buckle down and, overcome that adversity there. And the same thing here can be said for Stein in his singles. As we saw, Greer giving it absolute all here tonight in that first set. But Stein was able to overcome that, steal it 7-6. And, again, in the second set, now in that 7-point tiebreaker, up 4-2, looking to secure another victory here for the Blue Raiders.
Serve coming here for Trinity Greer. Kapow, Stein Slump. Somebody get a fire hydrant for this man. He's on absolute fire right now. 5-2 lead, Middle Tennessee, and Stein Slump just 2 balls away from clinching a victory.
Just an absolute chef's kiss there. Just beautifully placed. Just beautifully placed there by Stein. Just breathtaking.
So we have been told that this is indeed a 10-point tiebreak. And thus we will see how this game will continue to flow forward as Slump gets ready for his second serve. Oh my goodness! Stein Slump with an absolute missile right down the alley.
I think I might have felt my chair shake from up here. That was very explosive. I think it might have been, the seismograph might have picked that one up as the claps now starting to build here in the cathedral as Stein one serve away from securing. The bagels are in the oven.
Yes, he is. And we do want to clarify that that was not a 10-point tiebreak, so this is for the game. Slump with the serve. Oh, my goodness. What an exclamation point. And Middle Tennessee is going to clinch a 7-0 sweep. Get out the brooms and find Mr. Clean. Middle Tennessee with a clean sweep here tonight.
Clean sweep indeed, and the cathedral turning into a bakery now with bagels being produced here. A 7-0 victory for the Blue Raiders. Just a marvelous fight all the way around for the boys in blue tonight.
The Blue Raiders clinch a 7-0 win and a big one here in the Cathedral Tennis, and the choir is absolutely fired up. And might be a little too soon, but the Rice Owls
we saw, as we just saw, Big Head Stein behind there with a big play. And just, it was just the fight that the boys in blue had tonight. Just, never, letting Rice seem to catch their footing, able to, comprehend, slow down, and just come out and play brilliant tennis all the way around.
Well said. Couldn't have put it any better myself. It's going to be an interesting one to watch moving forward, but Middle Tennessee clinches a big victory. But we've got post-game interviews with head coaches and a player of the game when we come back here live at the Cathedral of Tennis, the Adams Tennis Complex in Murfreesboro. Don't go anywhere here on MTN Sports and CUSA.TV. Come right back.
Mental health affects us all, whether you finish first or last.
Whether you win or lose.
The stigma around these issues causes those around us to suffer in silence.
Mental health is nothing to be ashamed of.
You are not alone.
You are not alone. As a student athlete,
As a teammate,
As a friend,
we pledge to continue the conversation.
because it matters.
because you matter.
stand up to the stigma.
Stand up.
Stand up.
Continue the conversation.
You are not alone.
I have a voice.
You have a voice.
We have a voice.
Our voices can be heard.
Outside of sports.
As student athletes, we have a platform.
Now more than ever.
It's important that we listen, learn, and lead, and raise our voices for change.
We can all do more.
Now is the time
To make a difference.
This is our chance.
This is our chance to make a better tomorrow.
Together, we will continue the conversation.
We have a voice.
On June 23, 1972, Title IX was signed into law, and it reads, "No person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under any education program or activity, receiving federal financial assistance." Happy 50th anniversary, Title IX. Thank you for giving little girls like me and big kids like Conference USA student athletes the opportunity to dream big.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cathedral of Tennis, the Adams Tennis Complex, live here in Murfreesboro. Dylan Simmons joined alongside my broadcast partner, Matt Hayden. Matt, we just witnessed the Blue Raiders clean sweep the Rice Owls here tonight.
Absolutely, just clean sweeping. The bagel time was ready here at the Cathedral, and the man leading that charge was Court 1 star Stein Slump.
I wouldn't say leading the charge. I think Brooke was done when I was halfway my first set, but that was a fun match. It was a fun time, yeah.
You certainly made it fun to watch all night. It was a pleasure to see you go out there and get that victory, Stein. Obviously one you had to fight for, and it was really great to see you close it out the way you did. What did you learn from tonight that you can use moving forward?
I mean, it just shows how important the serve is and how important it is to be consistent. I felt like I was better the entire match a little bit. The guy was just serving well, returning well, just staying in the rally. A lot of close games, good bet on general, but I'm just really happy to get it done here. I'm a little tired, as you can tell. It was a good one.
So Stein, I have to ask: is that a shot that you practice, in your free time? Is that behind the back, The
little lob.
The little lob. Is that something that you practice in your spare time, or is that something Coach Jimmy's against?
It's probably because Coach Jimmy's against it. It's a bit of luck, bit of skill, I'd say, but it was fun to do, though. I enjoyed that.
Well, it certainly was an awesome play to see. You should have seen our mouths. They were completely agape. It looked like a tunnel coming through with how open our mouths were. But, going back to this game, a big win tonight, but obviously Sunday a big test against Virginia Tech. What are you guys doing, and what can you learn from tonight that you can use to take away going into Sunday in Blacksburg?
I mean, a lot of confidence, obviously. 7-0 against the Rice Owls. They're always a tough team to play, even at home. It's going to be tough on the road. Virginia Tech, good team. Hard circumstances to play at. Fast courts, not a lot of space in the back. It's a big home advantage, but we'll see what we can do. We're looking forward to it, Traveling tomorrow, getting a hit in there, and just try our best.
Absolutely, absolutely. As tonight being, International Student Appreciation Night, I know it's, the whole squad, from all around the country. How does it feel being able to, represent your country here in the States and just putting on a show, with, your homeland, close to your heart?
It always makes me proud playing with the flag on my arm. It's one of the best things out there. Hopefully one day I'll be able to play Davis Cup or something, but as of right now, this feels awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear, awesome to see, and you have definitely represented your country and your team well tonight. Congratulations, Stein. Go enjoy this victory.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome stuff from Stein Slump here tonight, and as you mentioned, Matt, he came in, he delivered. It wasn't easy. He had to earn it, but he grinded his way out, and he got that well-earned victory.
Absolutely. Just an absolute dogfight, especially in his doubles match as well with Pav, but also in that singles match. It felt like we were constantly looking in on Court 1 that whole entire singles match time. And it was just something, you see that, these boys constantly are working at getting better. And the man that leads that charge, like Stein says, he didn't lead the charge, but this man definitely leads the charge. And that's Head Coach Jimmy. Jimmy, how are we doing tonight?
Hey, guys. How you all doing?
We are doing fantastic, Coach. Congratulations on that big victory. Going back to this game against Rice tonight, you guys have played Rice a numerous amount of times over the years, but you've never had a 7-0 sweep. What was different tonight, and what allowed your players to perform the way they did to get this kind of victory?
Yeah, we've been playing well. I mean, we kind of, we flirted with it a little bit in the doubles, but we were playing pretty well. But up 4-1, 4-1, and then third doubles, put the new team out there. They were down 3-0. They battled back to 2-3, and it was like I think everybody kind of thought, oh, we've got it in the bag. And there was just like a little bit of a moment. I thought that was the only let up I didn't like in the whole match of the whole day. So for the day, but obviously they kind of regrouped and took care of biz. So impressive. Rice is, in my opinion, the premier institution in the conference. Rice has amazing depth. I don't think they gave us their best effort today. But I'm happy for the win.
Absolutely. Coach, handling business here right before going on the road into a place that you're familiar with in Blacksburg, Virginia, at Virginia Tech. What is, your message to the guys, going into a ground that you're really familiar with and kind of comfortable with, heading into a familiar location for you?
Yeah, Blacksburg's home for me, 5 years, met my wife there. Coach Jim's big mentor of mine, really, really taught me a ton. Blacksburg's a tough place to play. Yeah, they got the smaller indoor quick courts, orange and maroon, kind of a different look for a tennis complex. It's a little dark. And anytime you enter somebody else's building, they know the courts well. And tomorrow we'll practice and get a set in at Virginia Tech, and then heard the snow's coming. So it'll be a great match. Coach Jim coaches his team very well, and it'll be a battle.
It's certainly going to be a fun one. We can't wait to see that one in Blacksburg. Obviously, you guys with Rice, this is a bit of a historic matchup. Rice obviously will be leaving for the American Conference next year, and of course, you could meet them later on in this season in the CUSA Men's Tennis Tournament. But assuming this could be the last game, what has this rivalry meant to you, and what have you learned from this rivalry overall?
Rice is a good team. I don't think like I said, they didn't play great today. Coach F.A. is a friend of mine. We go way back. I think today was a great step. We kind of took advantage of all our opportunities and executed. And so that combination of playing aggressive and then executing, and that's why the scoreboard was this way. That being said, we know Rice at the conference tournament. If we were to run into them at their home in the conference tournament, outdoors in the heat down in Houston, could be a different story. So, we're happy about this, but, next time we cross paths could be a different scenario. But, I wouldn't be surprised if we coach FA and I keep playing. We've got a great relationship, and he always has a good team.
Absolutely, Coach. So, ended off in a little lighthearted question here. We were in shock from Stein's, behind the back hit there in the single. So, I got to ask you, you're going to let Stein practice that a little bit more in practice, maybe to secure a point there?
Yeah, y'all don't know me that well. These tweeners, these highlight shots, I call these ESPN dun-dun-dun shots. I don't like them at all. I mean, you guys like them. I'm old school, high probability, high percentage. And when they start making some of these shots and they get a little too, they start deviating from the plan. But it really exciting. The shot from Brock and the doubles was crazy. I just had to go over and tell them congratulations. But, yeah, the boys, they are very talented. And so kind of reeling in that discipline and making sure that there's a plan.
Get the job done every night, as you've seen. So congratulations, enjoy this one, and good luck in Blacksburg.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate everything you guys do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Coach Jimmy. So that'll end it out for tonight. But, Matt, final thoughts going into this one with a big victory for Middle Tennessee over CUSA opponent Rice.
It was just a great showing all the way around. Just, a very high energy level here at the Cathedral, and just something that they could ride into going into Blacksburg. And it's just something, they live off the energy.
Yes.
Even going away from the Cathedral, they can still feel, day in and day out that the Cathedral will always be, the fans, they travel. It could be watching, on the internet, or even, going with the team, that the boys will have the fan base behind them. And it's just something that we love to see here. And it's just a great game all the way around. And it was just beautiful to see here at the Cathedral.
And as we mentioned, Virginia Tech, a place that Coach Jimmy is well familiar with. He was an assistant coach there for 5 years, so he's got a lot to prove going back into Blacksburg. Middle Tennessee did pick up a victory against them at home last year, so trying to go back and prove it once again, this time on the road in a potentially snowy Blacksburg, Virginia. Going to be a fun one to watch. But, folks, that is all the time we have for today. But don't worry, we will be back doubleheader action next weekend here live in the Cathedral of Tennis. For myself and Matt Hayden, thank you all so much for watching here live. Number 21, Middle Tennessee takes a 7-0 sweep victory of the Rice Owls here. Make sure to come back here on CUSA.TV and MTN Sports. We will see you next time, and remember to have an